Hello, I'm Daniel Bloodworth. We're Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast. This week, I am joined by Michael Huber.
Still riding that Cobra Kai high.
Also watching the Grammys.
I'm hyped for it.
Yeah.
Great competition. Look it up. Song of the year. It's going to be a bloodbath.
I looked it up.
Yeah. Some good artists.
Michael Damiani.
Also riding that Cobra Kai high. Mm-hmm. That is
nice.
The most insane cliffhanger they have done ever.
Oh, dude.
Peak anime.
Peak.
The best anime.
Peak anime.
Hands down.
Freaking World Tournament Saga, bro.
It's like the June exam. It's like, oh my God.
All right. Good stuff. Making it all happen in the control room. Isla Hink.
I'm still high in that Cobra ride by high.
What?
Cobra Kai.
Never seen it.
And also back there, we've got Don Casanova.
Don Casanova. Is that
And Gabby Montoot.
Monty.
Friends, we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. This week, those nominations for the Game Awards dropped. So
People are calmly discussing the
calmly
nominees.
discussing and not calmly discussing. So we will calmly discuss.
Goatees are so calm.
Casual goatees.
If you're watching us live, you'll have to come back to the recording because Huber got to sit down with Rod Fergusson.
Sure did.
To talk about Diablo IV.
Sure did.
So, yeah, look forward to that.
Please be excited.
Huber and I have been playing Stalker 2.
Yep.
Get a little into the zone.
Oh, yeah.
With that. I've played a little bit of the beginning of Avowed. So, doing a preview on Avowed today.
Tell us more.
Yeah. I played a bit at Gamescom LA Xbox event, but this is like right from the start of the game. So
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Some interesting things they're doing there. Our patrons also submitted the top 10 parties.
Mario Party #1.
No, the
Mario
other
Party. Oh,
parties.
it's Mario
Dragon
Party.
Quest, Final Fantasy, Dragon
Mario Party
Age.
is
Your
the
party
best
in
Yeah.
your adventuring party, Huber.
Yes.
Not to say you can't have a party with your party.
Next month, I do think they should do best party.
Right. Well, they've got their special things for December, but we'll get to that. And then we got some more headlines to round things out. But let's get started on Game Awards stuff.
Oh. Diving in.
Diving into deep end.
Yeah.
Just going into the trenches right away.
So reminder, we are on the jury. We are jurors.
We are one.
Not judges for
Juror,
some reason.
though.
I still don't fully understand why that's a distinction. But anyways,
What do you mean?
that we're jurors and not judges.
Oh.
But we also we
There is no
suggest
judge.
nominees and then we vote for the.
Yeah.
Well, we decide which games are guilty and not guilty. So,
Yeah.
Sure.
so we're a jury in that sense.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood, juror number 2.
And Jeff Keighley pays us directly to nominate specific games.
No.
Yeah.
The games that got the highest marketing budget.
Yeah.
Keighley
Whoever writes the biggest
calls
check.
us on the phone and says, "You get paid to vote for this game,"
Yeah.
and then we do it.
We got no checks.
No, Keely's like, you get a check, you get a check.
You get a check. You get a
Yeah.
check. You get a check. You just get an IMAX theater, but you have to run it.
That's
like
right.
costs and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, literally, we have an Excel sheet chat, and we will all put down what we vote for, and then Blood will send the votes for just tally them up, and whatever has the most, that is our collective one vote.
Yeah.
So,
Blood
like,
probably
the
just
one.
picks whatever he wants and sends that in.
Writes in The Last Guardian. Thinks fine.
Yeah, every single year. Also, is this the time for me to go on this little tirade?
Always.
I don't know which tirade do you want to get into.
People.
I do want to before.
Okay, do your thing.
Before we get to that, I do want to say clarification that we cannot tell you what we voted for or nominated.
Cannot.
Obviously, some of our reactions to these things are going to show some of our hand. But yeah, that is the one thing. Like, we can't tell you what we
Okay.
give. That's the avoid
Yeah.
influences and persuasions.
Good
and
to
things
know.
Have we
like that, yeah.
technically sent our official vote in? So
No.
we haven't voted yet.
I mean, I previously said if a certain game wasn't at least make the nomination list, I was going to officially retire. I'm not officially retiring, so there you go.
Good.
Wait, so I don't know which rant you're wanting to get into.
Oh, because people get all upset about this year they got upset that Elden Ring was nominated for Game of the Year based on DLC,
Yeah,
but people
we're about to
don't
get into that.
understand what
Keep going.
people don't understand, and it says in the jury thing that explains it to us, and I feel like the Game Awards officially needs to put this out there more. Well, people wouldn't read it, whatever. But the way it works is every game in human history is eligible for every Game Awards if it released before November 8th or whatever of this year.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's but
That's
you know,
not the date, but I don't remember what the date is.
November something.
No, November something.
Yeah.
But it just has to have done something big enough in this year for enough people to nominate it for it to go through. So if Castlevania Symphony of the Night came out with a huge expansion next year and enough people
Awesome.
mentioned it, that could be up for Game of the Year. But people, and did I think that Erdtree was great? Not really. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. It's enough people, thought it was a significant enough thing, and that's the rules of Game Awards. So it's is it weird? Sure, but that's just how it is. So yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. That is the big controversy talking point. Whatever you want to people are well, it's a DLC, it's not a game, and people are really passionate about this. And I am not. I'm actually very, very curious and very philosophical. Of okay, but what? But why? What is the difference? It's because you don't have a title screen where you can just push start and start playing. It's no, you've got to go through and get to it.
You can make it you can make it muddy.
Yeah, no.
I mean, are we gonna nominate Fortnite now for GOTY?
I mean, it
new
could happen.
seasons, new content every year.
If enough people did it, it would happen.
So it is.
Right.
I see where people can
just
bring up
wish-
these arguments for sure.
I just wish they had a best DLC add-on
Yeah.
expansion
I agree.
category, and you just throw it all in there.
Yep.
And honestly, for people are complaining there's too many categories. Best ongoing in community,
the
whoever
same.
wins the one usually wins the other. So it's just merge those into one. They really should just be one category. Every time I see them, I'm yeah. Not always, but most years it feels like they really are just the same thing. So
Yeah.
you could do those two things, and then you could sort those into that, and there'd be less. I don't know. If a DLC is really that amazing, but in this, I guess it's the nuances. Elden Ring got its due. It was an amazing game. It
Right.
already got all the accolades and awards. So it's cool, great DLC. Reward the DLC in a DLC category.
Yeah.
Let the main efforts of a game for other games get a chance for recognition. It is taking away a spot from other really good games this year, I
Totally.
think, is why
100%.
people are upset.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
But the
so many
counter-
spots. There's
the-
so many games that could fill that spot.
The
that are
counterpoint to
great.
that, though, Damiani, is that this is essentially a full release game worth of content. Not as big as the first Elden Ring, but if you compare it to what they did with Miles Morales, what they did with Uncharted Lost Legacy, if this had come out in a box by itself, is there a reason to treat that differently? Than a Miles Morales?
I mean, I would say, yeah. It's showing as a developer, you have more confidence that you're going to release it standalone and not have it attached to already a critically acclaimed massive blockbuster. You release anything under that heading, it's of course people are going to already jump in with high expectations and ready to go. Whereas if that had been released standalone on its own and it was called Elden Ring 2 or something,
No, not
I
even
don't
that.
think
Just Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, just as a
for
box.
$30, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't. I don't know. I don't think it would have made it because it still says Elden Ring in it. I think it's still gonna it was still going to get all that the people to like kind of pay attention to it. I guess I would say it probably wouldn't have changed anything, but on principle, I still think that, you know, you should have released it standalone then if you wanted it to like be considered for as a brand new game rather than like add-on. And the thing is, I bring it like, yes, it has its own independent leveling system, but all my gear and shit comes in. Mm-hmm. Like I still have things I bring from the main game, so it isn't quite standalone. It's like you have to.
What if they had a character importer?
Yeah, but still, it still has connections, and then you can bring that shit into the main game and then make the main game easier. It's like, okay, yeah. So like, they're still interlinked like that. So like, I don't see like it still feels kind of like it's part of the main game. It's just like a giant side expansion that they added on. It's like, so if you want to put Elden Ring in best ongoing game for this, I would be okay with that. Best best DLC, like yes, but unless it was a release completely isolated, like nothing from your main game impacted that, and nothing from that game impacts the main game.
So Mass Effect 2 is the DLC now.
I'm sorry.
Mass Effect 2.
Oh, what, like carrying over stuff like that, the data. I would say like it impacts some of the argument or some of the experience argument. Wow. And maybe there's an argument to be made about like viewing Mass Effect trilogy as like a whole experience. But I'd also say like those games were like, yes, you didn't have to import your save data into those. And it only like, it was like basically something that like,
it's a sequel, man. It's not adding on.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is so much
the
different
game
than
is
1.
so
It's
different.
so much
The
better.
game is like not even. It's like not even the same game.
It's not even the same game,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it's not even mechanically. It's not even the same. So it's like
Combat was
Elden Ring,
so much
Shadow
more
Erdtree
improved.
is mechanically the same game. It's like okay, like it's not even trying to do anything radically different. It's got a few things to it and a new independent leveling system that was probably the thing that turned off a lot of people. And it's still, at the end of the day, was Elden Ring 1 to me. I was like, it's still, this is not Elden Ring 2. It's
it's very
Ring
complicated.
1.
There's a lot of nuance here. There's a lot to unpack. It is nuance. Like if, how different is this conversation if Elden Ring got snubbed when it originally came out or didn't win as much? Then everyone would be like, oh, they get another chance. They get another chance here. But I think there's some resentment and some pushback because they've already dominated GOTYs years ago, for this very same game. I know it's the DLC, but it's still Elden Ring. So I think it is messy. But then you look at it like, I lay awake at night and think about Game of the Year all the time. It's one of the most important things to me in my entire life. The idea of celebrating the best games of the year together, as easy allies, and just as gamers. So it is a little tough knowing how many great games were left off this list in favor of this DLC.
That to me, like, and to me, like, I feel like we're getting lost in the weeds of Elden Ring specifically, whereas like the way the Game Awards specifically works. Is it's interesting. It's I don't know how you would do it differently or better, and like I'm glad the Game Awards exists. I think that it's less though the way that it is less capable of rewarding merit and more capable of awarding popularity, the way that it is structured.
Oh,
because
all GOTYs are flawed.
All GOTYs are flawed, even
It's a
our
flawed
own.
system.
Oh, yeah.
And we try to do it in the new year because, we want to try and give everything a fair shake.
It should be rebranded as favorite game of the year.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
To have the audacity, truly, to say that a game is game of the year when I know everyone out there, including myself, I don't even want to hear myself talk about it because there is no one out there who has finished Elden Ring, Like a Dragon, Metaphor, fucking like 10 other games. Like it is impossible for everyone to finish every game, and I feel like if you haven't finished every game, then how can you actually say one is better than the other? Because of what you heard, because of what you see, it's a flawed system. So you just need to re-examine the way you
Or I just
look
think
at it.
people just need to understand that's what it is. And I mean, like the Oscars and stuff, like the Oscars have been around for long enough that I feel like people understand that it's, it's almost more about like who campaigned hardest to get Best Actor.
Yeah, because they're not even as short as movies are in comparison.
Right,
Not all watching
right,
all that
easy
either.
to catch
like
up on movies.
there are people who saw every worthy movie, but not people who played who platinumed Metaphor and played Indica.
Not even platinum, just roll
Like,
credits, finished these games.
But it's like, like I joke every year. Well, I don't joke because I actually think this, but like games with a higher marketing budget and better graphics will be more likely to get Game Award nominations because more people will play them. And
Right.
like the thing that's interesting to me is that, Keeley gets all the flack because some people I think must actually think he's picking them. I don't know. But like, and in a storm you need a lightning rod, whatever. But like, it's just numbers. It's just like this amount of people played this one the most, and so it got mentioned the most.
Wukong, one of the
Like,
most popular games
Yeah.
of the year. Really good game that I finished. Really, really good game, but like the lowest game of the year nomination on Metacritic.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
But
like
everyone
if
played it.
everyone played it.
Everyone played it.
It will get a nomination
Yeah.
because more people will mention it.
Yeah.
And it's like, in the best indie game category to me, and I know that you're trying to list them, Blood, and we'll get to it, but like best indie game and best narrative are maybe the most interesting. Indie is definitely the most contentious for me personally. Like that's the one where I'm like, all of these are actually fucking great.
Yeah.
But like, clearly not enough people played Indica or Fear the Spotlight or
Right.
so many of these other games that are as or more deserving than some of the games that made it in here, but just it didn't have the numbers.
Yep.
And
Played
that's
5
just,
hours of Nine Souls. That's one of the best things I've played all year. That's nowhere
Yeah.
to be found.
Yeah.
Right.
That's legitimately one of the best games
but
I've
again,
played
it goes
this year.
back to the numbers, right? It's
Exactly.
only on PC right now.
Yep.
So
Only
the
on-
people that
yeah.
are playing on consoles maybe haven't played it yet, or they're
Yep.
about to.
Yep.
They'll have it for their own awards, but they haven't got to it for
Dragon Quest
Game
3
Awards
came
yet.
out a little too late.
right.
Like,
Yeah. There's a lot of that stuff. I'm trying to think.
1,000 times resist. Like my God.
Oh yeah, that one's on my backlog for sure.
1,000x resist. 1,000 times resist.
It is times.
It is
yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that makes way more sense. 1,000 times resist makes more sense.
Yeah, but yeah, in terms of the numbers game, it's like, yeah, it's the common denominator because every one of us outlets, like, we get our group together and like, okay, what's the thing that's common amongst us? And then that goes to another layer where it's like, okay, now everything that we've sent to Jeff's team, whoever tallies them on their side,
Jeff Probst.
now looks at, all of the different outlets and what's common among all of the different outlets, Plus he's got, some people on there that are just individuals.
Yeah.
Got some people on there from different parts of the world, and some people are press, some people are creators.
Yeah.
So it's a big mix of stuff.
Rebrand it. Favorite game of the year.
So you're telling me
but it's the same thing. Yeah.
that my vote is only 1/5 of a vote.
Right.
Personally, I'm like it's like living in LA and voting for the president.
Counts less.
Some Rhode Island guy,
Yeah.
16 times the voting power.
Totally.
Or but think about IGN, right? Like
Yeah.
if they've got 20 or 30 people on staff or whoever's on their
Yeah,
editorial
but do they
team.
only do one vote also?
Well, that's the thing. It's like they submit
must be.
5 nominees per category like everybody else.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they get special treatment.
no, they're not getting multiples. That's the thing. Somebody over there has to organize that and figure out how they're submitting. And like, I don't know
Yeah.
what their process is at all.
So quickly run through the game of the year, please.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got to that. Some of the other stuff here, I do. Yeah. Back to where Isla was saying. Yeah, this was not a last-minute rule change. I think that's something that got confused.
Great. Yeah.
Because they're.
And they did add this sort of weirdly phrased, but I guess like right before they dropped the noms, someone in chat said they did kind of add this verbiage to the website.
Yeah. So there was a website update which Wario64 screenshotted and put out there, and that's basically when this blew up. But that particular language was already in our kind of like our guide, kind of like how they like that FAQ is something that we got like a month or so ago or whatever. And even before that, I think there was something like just early prep emails or whatever. But as Isla was saying before, I checked back on my emails from past years. And yeah, it's basically like the wording may be different for the sake of clarification, but it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what sort of Jeff's approach to this is, because we're just all sending a bunch of, blind ballots and we don't talk to each other about this stuff. Mm-hmm. That it's like, okay, how do we deal with these weird things that happen in video games where you have like some games are in early access and some games are ongoing and some games are putting out one DLC and then buy. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, like not the games like as like, oh, this was published and put on a shelf on this day. It's like, what was the work that you did in 2024? And the fewer rules and weird technicalities to try to like put into place and then it's just like, okay, well then let the jury decide.
Yeah.
Like,
that's where I stand. I'm like, if a game came out this year with substantial enough content to like make an impact and the quality is there and, it's universally beloved, like I don't see a big problem with it.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing is, again, like I said earlier, there's so much context with this because Elden Ring already won everything. Again, like if Elden Ring hadn't won, I would be so all in for it.
Here's the other context. I really, really wonder how much of this would be a thing if it just wasn't in the top category.
Game of the year.
Like if
course.
Erdtree was in the other categories,
it wouldn't matter.
Like even if it was like in RPG and stuff, but it being in Game of the Year, now all of a sudden it's
a big deal.
It's a bigger deal.
It's only so many spots, a lot of good games.
People pointed out that like Witcher 3 Blood and Wine won RPG of the year. That was an expansion. It was basically the same exact situation, but I don't remember there being a conversation about that. Do you? I don't know. I don't remember anyone talking about that being a problem.
Because it's the best ever? I don't give a shit.
It's the same, but see, technically, though, it's the same exact situation, right?
Yeah.
The only difference is that, like, they give you an easy way in Witcher to, like, just jump into the DLC.
Did Witcher 3 win GOTY, though? Didn't it lose to, like, GTA 5 or some Red Dead or some shit? What was it?
I think it might have won.
Did it win?
Game of the Year the year before.
Maybe it did.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But... yeah, I think it was Witcher 3 that year.
2015. Yeah, what year is that?
And then...
Witcher 3, got it. Beat Bloodborne! Oh, shit!
Right?
Yeah, that is incorrect.
Oh, God.
So that's... But yeah, just that's the funny thing in my head here is that, like, on the technicality of it, I'm kind of like, that's fine. That makes sense for it to be nominated.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I actually probably wouldn't nominate.
Yeah, it's messy.
Because it's like, oh, yeah, well, it's had its due. Yeah. It's fine.
And Game of the Year is messy. I mean, you watch our Game of the Year content, I'm sure it's messy every time. Like, it's a messy process. Mm-hmm. It's a can't win process because, like I said earlier, there is no way every human plays every single game. It's just a flawed system. So really, you just got to know that going in before you get triggered to just understand the context of who you're watching, how they vote, what it is.
Yeah.
There's just a lot.
And then before we get into the list, just a couple of things that like feedback that I gave to Jeff so far.
Giving Jeff notes, chat.
Yeah. Well, for one this year, and like I don't even know if what the exact wording would be, but like I really was hurting for like some kind of puzzle/adventure category. Like, but the thing is, like the games that I thinking of, like I don't even know if like puzzle would be a good descriptor of everyone because it's like I'm thinking, yes, Golden Idol, yes, Lorelei, but then also like Emio, which people have talked really good about, and 1,000 Times Resist, which people have really talked, and like those aren't really puzzle games, but they sort of fit in the same vibes.
Puzzle strategy?
Well, that's what I was thinking, like puzzle/adventure, right?
Action, adventure, and action still pisses me off.
Same.
I understand it, but yes, I understand.
I know you understand it, but it's insane. The fact that you understand it is points against.
Yeah.
Only the mad understand madness, you know?
And then the other thing is, I just need the eligibility cutoff to be before the nominations. I don't care what day that Jeff picks to do the awards and when the cutoff is, but the cutoff needs to be before we nominate the thing, not weeks after we submit nominations.
That is very strange.
And is there more
Yeah.
money to have the show in December instead of January? Or is it
Absolutely,
because
yes.
of the Game Awards? So it's every 6 months he has something. Game Awards, Summer Game Fest, Game Award. It's just nonstop. 1, 2, 1, 2.
I
Summer Game
guarantee
Fest,
that
Game Awards.
I guarantee doing it at the end of in December is more hype than doing it in
Yeah.
Probably because
and easier to sell, you know,
Yeah.
for the holiday shopping
For
season.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really holiday shopping, but I think it's just there is sort of a, you know, an expectation for that. You know, like IGN's doing them. We used to do them at Game Trailers then. Some people have already done their Game of the Years, you know. So I think that's sort of why, but not everyone. Like the industry awards happen later, right?
Yeah.
You've got DICE and GDC. You don't have until February and March.
It's not 1999
BAFTAs.
anymore. You need time to
BAFTAs
finish
come-
these games.
Come next year too, yeah.
Cataclysmic wave of content.
But that's the thing. I just like the game comes out a couple weeks before we submit nominations because, yeah, even when we get early things, like not everybody gets early things. Even
Yeah.
like Dragon Age, again, it's like, 70, 80 hour game there.
Yeah, you got
And it's
that
like
a little
only
early.
so many people got to put the time into
That's
that.
what I mean. That's
And when
what
we're
I
talking
mean.
about,
It's a
again,
flawed
IGN
system.
has 30 people
Yep.
to vote on things, and like 3 of them have played Dragon Age. Mm-hmm. So.
Games are very long, and there are a lot of them.
Let's hit some noms. Goaty is first. Astrobot,
I finished all these except Metaphor.
Balatro.
Balatro. If I see any more strays coming at Balatro, we're gonna have a problem.
I love the people that tweet like I was wrong.
Yeah.
They start playing Balatro and they get addicted for 5
if
hours.
you talk shit
Yeah.
on Balatro, I do not trust you as a human.
Yeah.
It is a near perfect game.
I think that comes down to either they have not played it or
Yep.
they're bad at it.
Yep. Balatro is one of those games. Yeah. Balatro is one of those games that, like, 5 years from now, I will still boot up for a random run here and there. Like, this is a game I'll be playing for so fucking long, dude.
You already brought up Wukong, which just won the Golden
Yeah.
Joysticks.
Yeah. It's a good game. It's really I really like it. And Chad already knows what I'm going to say, dude. Progression. Some of the best progression leveling up in an action adventure game I've ever seen. Like, every skill point from level 0 to 100 something, every time you get a skill point, you feel it and you're happy. You're rewarded. You're like, yes,
That's
needed
nice.
that. Needed that. Every piece of gear, because there's not too much. It's like, oh, that's an upgrade. Nice. Like, sick game. Good game.
Then Shadow of the Erd Tree, which we talked about quite a bit already. Then Rebirth, and then Metaphor.
Rebirth, yeah. Metaphor. Metaphor is the only one I haven't played out of those, but I will by year's end.
You played some though, right? Or have you just not?
Haven't
got
even touched it
started?
yet.
Oh wow. Okay,
but I
okay.
finished all the other ones.
Got it.
Yeah.
Rebirth you haven't played?
Metaphor.
Oh, Metaphor.
Rebirth, I haven't played. That's my big one that's sticking out
Beast.
there. Couple of times where I've almost started, and then there's
Yeah.
something for work, and I'm like, oh, maybe not yet, because
Need
I'm gonna
that-
get knocked right out of it.
Need that Rebirth machine. The
Yep.
Pro.
It is this is such a weird goatee. Like,
Got a DLC. You got a indie card game.
I mean, Balatro is the only one of these I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely a part of me that is like,
Like, I just don't care.
I would just love the situation of a single
care.
dev to be on stage.
That would be
Yeah,
really
I'll
funny.
also say like, yeah, I do care about
I care
really strongly about 3 of those games.
so much.
Yeah, there's
I fucking
I'm
care.
happy
dude.
for you guys.
really great stuff.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
like.
but I mean, there are definitely years I'm like, I don't give a crap about most of the games.
Yeah.
I care about the games, but I also care about like what wins and why. It's such an interesting question to me. What gets nominated and why? What wins and why? What do people say about the winner? Like, what do the fans think about all this? Like, it's fucking Goaty rips, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think the winner answers those questions. I think the process of looking at all the different Goaty discussions gets you to that place, Huber.
Hell
but
yeah.
you should probably not put too much personal stake into like any.
You gotta pick and choose who, the collective GOTY. It's like, all right, what do these people, and these people say? All right, what's the collective thoughts on it all? Because I imagine Balatro will be a lot of places, but not everywhere. I imagine Rebirth will be everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebirth picked up a lot at Golden Joysticks too.
I liked Stellar Blade more than Wukong, but
I started playing Stellar Blade last night.
Nice.
nice.
Review copy provided by PlayStation. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
11
insane.
something last night. Isla was like, "Do we have any extra codes?" And like,
It was
no, but I emailed them.
11:42 p.m. last night. I was like,
Hell
Blood, do we
yeah.
have an extra Stellar Blade code?
Dude, it was fun.
I should play it, but I don't know, if I'll, And then Blood was like, nah, but I can ask. And then 10 minutes later, he was like,
Sick.
here's a code. I was like, what the fuck?
I just saw a thing they added where if you try to be a perv, she kicks the camera away now.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, really?
I
That's
love
the Nier Automata approach,
Well,
which is hilarious
that just came
because
out,
this
too.
game it's a perv game.
for sure.
Well, it's so funny because I was talking with my friend Claire while I was playing it, and she was also playing it. And she's got 90 hours in it, New Game Plus, whatever, loves it,
Sick.
And it's such a weird vibe because I'm like, the world design and the enemy design is so good and cool
Yeah.
and
Awesome.
serious.
Love it.
And then it honestly feels like did you ever put the cartoon skin on Spider-Man in original Spider-Man? It honestly, the sexy waifu element of this game honestly feels so out of place. It's so weird.
To that point, that's where the costumes actually come in.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of different vibes with different outfits.
Yeah, you can cover it up if you're uncomfortable.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
Well,
like,
no.
you can just have a completely
Blood over here.
different. Yeah, you can have a completely different look that you vibe a bit more with.
We all know that I'm a dirty pervert. I'm going to play this game as intended, creator's intent. I'm going to perv hard, but whatever.
Nothing wrong with perving out sometimes.
A healthy sexuality is an important part of a balanced breakfast.
Yeah. Game's sick. Love it.
Yeah.
And Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, I feel could have been nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah, it's in some other words.
It is one of the best in the franchise, in my opinion. And not only that, I feel like it's actually one of the best RPGs of the year is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. After the last one, 7, I was feeling the fatigue finally on this franchise. I was like, dude, it's been a lot. It hasn't really changed enough. Even the transition to real time or turn-based combat, I was like, oh, it still just feels so much like, Yakuza going through the motions. And then this one, just the story and how they refined that turn-based combat, the amount of content, it's all killer, no filler, one of the high marks for this franchise, and I feel like it finally could have got it. It's nominated for a lot, which is really awesome, but it really could have got the respect of Game of the Year. I feel like this year it actually could have done it.
I don't know that a Yakuza has been in the top 6.
And this year it really could have, and it's again it just brings up those battles because it's people will look at, Balatro ignorantly, but then they will also look at
it's so weird too, right? 'Cause
DLC.
It's not really that long ago that From Software was the underdog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's now it's the big dog.
Yeah.
So, the arguments become so big because people will bring so many different games that didn't get nominated to the fight. So then that's why it just gets so crazy in Game of the Year. It's what about Unicorn Overlord? What about Like a Dragon. So,
best game direction is the same set of games.
Cool.
This one. It's weird to me because it's I understand the distinction, but I just don't know that again that amalgamation of critics is making that distinction.
I mean, that's part of the problem is I think everyone makes the distinction differently. And like how you understand action adventure versus action, but I don't think most people do.
Same,
And
same.
To me, best game versus best game direction, I'm clear, obvious. That makes sense. I can understand that.
Best picture,
Alan Wake
best director.
2, Alan Wake 2, best direction, easy. Is it the game of the year? No. But that to me is a very easy distinction to make. As an example, I'm not saying that one way or the other, but like, yeah. This year, though, it's kind of funny because it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I was talking to Cam Hawkins about this, actually, and he was saying, it's like, well, actually, the last, like, 4 out of the last 6 years, like, a different game got direction than got GOTY.
I like it, dude. Split them up.
But I
Hook
but I
two
do
games
feel
up
like
instead of one.
I
we
think
see
they
in
should
this-
often be different games.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, even with that, it still feels like the nominees end up being the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like it's a little weird because like I would have probably moved something out of there that's like a little smaller and then like favored something that had like a bigger team because like you're just managing more people, right? So
Hot take best direction Astrobot.
I mean, that I'm not allowed to say that would probably be my guess, but that would maybe be my guess.
But yeah,
Damn
that's why it's
good
interesting
direction,
because
though,
it's
dude.
like a lot of it like takes that like, did you read the PlayStation blog about Astrobot and did you see how they were running their war rooms and how everybody was contributing to that game? And then like then you have an idea of like what the director was doing in that studio. But if you don't know the behind the scenes stuff, then you don't know. And that's why I feel like it's maybe like a little bit, that's one that's maybe a little bit better suited for the industry awards than us schmucks on the sidelines.
Schmucks. Schmucks on the sidelines, dude. Thinking about
We're the
economic
ones who vote
headwinds.
for them.
But anyways, because they just have more insight on what it takes to direct a game.
Yeah.
Best narrative.
Hell yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Nice.
Like a Dragon Infinite
There
Wealth.
it is.
Metaphor.
Nice.
Hellblade 2.
That's weird.
And Silent Hill 2.
I'm pretty critical of Hellblade 2. I know some people liked it more than me, but I was pretty let down. That's like top 5 letdowns of the year for me. Same with, kind of Life is Strange a little bit. I really liked Life is Strange, but like both of those games, man, they just kind of let me down at the end of the year. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely would have loved to see. Like again, this is one of the places where I think like Indica or I mean mostly Indica. Like Indica I think should be where Hellblade is for this one probably.
Yeah.
Like Hellblade is gorgeous. I totally agree with the best acting nom, Like she did a great job, but I think like narratively and direction wise and stuff, probably not.
And I mean, again, didn't play it, so it's probably like a lot of people probably didn't play it who were the ones who suggest these games. But you said it earlier, 1000X Resist. Like so many people were like, please get that one for story. I didn't play it, but like everyone was like, please, like that, like please play it because it's deserving, and it's like,
dude,
it shows those cracks. How many more people played Hellblade?
Right,
it was
right.
It was hyped
Exactly.
forever. It was this big Xbox game. Like everyone gravitated towards that.
And it's almost almost exclusively a big narrative game with a big marketing push. So it's like people just I think threw it in there because they needed to hit 5 and like roll off voting or whatever. It just means that everyone's 5th choice gets in. I don't know, whatever. But like, 1000 Times Resist. Like I haven't finished it yet. I'm like, I don't know, 5 hours into it. But like even that amount of time, I'm like, oh, this is better than a lot of what I've played this year. It's really truly great.
Nice.
And it's mostly all narrative.
Art direction.
Love art direction.
This is one where I was like, at first I was like, what? And then the more that I looked at it, I was like, oh no, this is actually pretty good.
Silent Hill 2 was in narrative. Yeah, I feel like we should touch on that a little.
Oh, yeah.
But
10 out of 10.
like,
In.
I saw
I'm in for it.
Yeah, I saw some people upset about this one, and like yes,
Because it's the same story.
because it's the same story.
Remake, yeah.
But I think like it's one of the most legendary game stories of all time. So like a remake still has that story, and I really think you can't undersell the success that Bloober had in basically doubling this game and not making it feel that much like bloated at all.
Totally.
Like I think that Otherworld Hospital could be a little shorter, but that's like my only complaint about the pacing of this game. And like that's kind of insane for a game that's 20 hours long instead of 8.
For real.
And like they added a lot more dialogue, a lot more, I don't know. It's not. This is an excellent remake, and like very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Art direction. We've got Astrobot.
Sweet.
We got Wukong.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Erd Tree, Metaphor, and Neva.
Huh.
So.
Wukong, dude. There's some pretty ugly parts in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, for real. There's some
because
ugly
that was
ass
the thing
shit
that got
in that
everyone's
game.
attention was like, oh, this game looks so good.
Yeah, no, there's some really ugly parts. And then would this count against art direction? Like thinking you can go somewhere, but you can't?
Oh.
Shouldn't the art direction kind of lead you to the right path? There were so many times where I'm like, I want to go down there, and it's like invisible wall.
Which game?
Wukong.
Ah.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. But there are some truly gorgeous parts, of course.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it would necessarily be classified as art direction, but it is certainly a part of it, right? Leading the player's eyes, and then like, oh, I can't go there.
Again, I'm going to throw back to Stellar Blade. I thought Stellar Blade's world and art were sick.
Like, okay, Heber, I know that this game was a little bit of a letdown, but I do think this is one place where Plucky Squire could have been could have gotten its due, because
the look of that game is everything.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and it drags a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
But like the art style really, really pops, and
You're
it's
so
like
right.
so clean, and the texture on the pages and stuff.
9 Souls.
Yeah.
That game is.
I mean, 9 Souls
Bo.
and Bo.
Yeah.
And Thank Goodness You're Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh. Damn.
Well, yeah, I see you have Phoenix Springs here too. Like, yeah, goodness.
That's what I mean. It's like I was like, when I saw this list, I'm like,
Yeah.
It's again these are the most popular kids at the in the lunchroom. You know, like
instead of game of the year, most popular game of the year.
I mean, Metaphor definitely has crazy freaking art direction.
Yeah, dude, Metaphor.
It looks like nothing freaking else.
Metaphor's gonna take this.
The two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say that to discount these games, but like these are definitely like the most. The Venn diagram of most people played them and they have good art are these.
Did you say Astrobot was in this one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it don't get me wrong, looks beautiful and the animations are amazing, but like we already like it's just like Playroom.
Right.
That we a lot of that stuff was already in Playroom, so you're just like seeing it again.
Their art direction was set. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the rewards are probably for like the hero worlds. You know, how they incorporated other game aesthetics into their own. But other than that, yeah, it was, you know, just on a larger scale. I think it's more about the game direction and, you know, level design and stuff that elevates that game, and also the soundtrack. Don't get me wrong, like the visuals help a lot in that game, but it definitely feels like this is about. There's probably more other games that are probably like better deserving, in my opinion, to make it on there. But sure. And then the fun thing is like you could just look at games and see them. It's like you could just like that's the thing. You can just like look at games and like look at this art style, man. Like this really should be in here. But
well, I mean, there's parts of like Neva where like man, I want to share this screenshot, but I don't spoil it, you know, because like it's just so much impact from just a single image.
Neva.
Score and music. Astrobot's here too.
Yeah, it is.
Plus Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade got in there.
Great music. One of my favorite soundtracks of the year.
I'm
By the way, where is Dragon's Dogma 2? Can we pause for one moment?
It's only in RPG, I think.
Can we pause for one moment? And can somebody just explain to me why Dragon's Dogma 2 has been kicked to the curb?
Because unlike outside of the Easy Allies bubble, a lot of people had problems with Dragon's Dogma 2. Just
because
like
they
everyone,
fear it.
everyone,
They fear it,
everyone had problems with fucking Alien Isolation when that came out. Look where we are now.
Good jank. They found like the performance issues on PC very problematic. Like it had issues that a lot of people couldn't overlook. So I'm just telling you what everyone outside our bubble was saying. So
it's good insight.
There are a lot of people who are like, I will not respect the Game Awards if Dragon's Dogma 2 is nominated. I'm like,
Jesus.
Wow. Like, okay.
Vendetta, dude.
It's like, dang. Because they thought it would be like a Darling or something. It seemed like a lot of players, like if you look at the player reviews, were not as high on Dragon's Dogma 2, maybe.
I will not respect the Game Awards. You shouldn't respect the Game Awards in the first place.
Intense take, dude. I will not respect them if Dragon's Dogma.
I bite my nose at you, or I bite my thumb at you. Yeah.
Good grief. All right, sorry, boys.
Yeah,
sorry.
Astrobot didn't hit me as hard as the previous game.
With the music?
Yeah.
The music.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, because
I think that
it reuses a little bit too.
Well,
like,
yeah,
it has
I mean,
new
you'd
stuff,
expect
but
that,
like,
but yeah.
it's a lot of remixes of the stuff that was already in Playroom. So,
And I think that's part of why it felt a little, because like there were songs that were written specifically like for like I'm a GPU and stuff like that. And then like when you reuse that theme, but now it's not the theme of the level, it's like, why? It's weird. It's weird because like that was like, it's like essentially like environmental storytelling.
Yeah.
That now you're just reusing the song because it's a good song.
there were some.
Yeah.
There are also still some crazy moments with the music and how it was like contributing to like the narrative and immersion of like moment to moment gameplay. The forget the name of it, but the rapping tree like level, like that was like insane. I was like, what is it saying? Like, oh, the lyrics. I was like, okay. I was like, that was a like fun moment. And then like the music from the hero worlds, like
Yeah.
they drop boy. I was like,
We also
pretty good
haven't
remix.
mentioned Prince of Persia Bloodworth. Prince of
Oh,
Persia.
Lost Crown.
Another one.
Yeah.
The
that
hell?
one. I didn't think it would make it to the list, but I thought it was really strong.
The music in that was so good too.
Yeah, it had a lot of good things going for it. I think it was like maybe like just on the cusp.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of like strong games this year, and also popularity. It didn't sell up to expectations, as
Right.
you know,
Popularity's
Ubisoft said.
key.
So not enough people played it, and
Was a critical darling
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but like. I don't know, like recency bias as well, maybe. Like newer
Yeah.
stuff came out. It came out so early in the year
Yep.
that people kind of moved on from it. And the only thing that really had like the staying power that early in the year was like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out in February. It was like
Because people were playing it all the way till like July.
and Helldivers, like Helldivers
Yeah.
2 and like Rebirth, like just dominated like everything at the beginning of the year. So
Dude,
kinda, like,
Helldivers,
forgot about
the-
everything else.
Yeah.
The Helldivers 2 drop off needs to be studied. Good grief. This game was on top of the world for a minute and then just. Still a lot of people are playing, but
Yeah.
still. The
It's
noise.
not
not making any more noise. You know what I mean? It was making so much loud noise.
Yeah. It was
And then
everywhere.
now it's kind of just like off in its own corner doing its own thing.
Again, nobody played this game, but in terms of music, shout outs to Yars Rising.
Yours.
Yeah. Like,
Yar.
the music is like the reason that I go back to that game.
Sick.
And they've got the full playlist on YouTube. as
Shout out to
well.
Frank Stone.
Dude,
Nominate Frank Stone, dude.
I really enjoyed it, but
Okay. It's a B movie in every way.
yeah, nominated for what?
Best audio design,
Best feel
Astrobot.
good game, dude.
Best audio for Astrobot. I
Best
think
game to
is
play in one night.
really great. Black Ops 6.
Music?
Audio design.
audio.
Oh yeah.
Aren't those games are always on point with
Out of
audio
control.
I
design?
mean,
Roll.
COD is like,
Yeah.
it's almost not fair.
Yeah.
Rebirth, Hellblade 2.
Good audio.
And then Silent Hill 2 as well.
Great audio.
Like,
Ooh.
10 out of 10 audio.
like Black Ops 6 is my head pick, but Silent Hill 2 is my heart pick in this
Yeah.
one because, like,
I
I
agree.
really do appreciate what they did with the sound in the remake. They did a lot of stuff, a lot of like subtle nods in there and hidden details, but also just like shout out to James's many and very emotionally intense stomping sound effort
my
sounds.
God.
It's so good. They're so good, dude. I mean, that's why he should win Best Voice Actor.
Yep. Great voice actor.
Audio on Pacific Drive is really freaking good.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
And you are the audio.
Yeah, shout out to me. Ha.
But it's just like one of those things of like, yeah, it'll like chew my battery up a little bit, but I think I'm gonna leave the radio on while I go and like walk around here and like scavenge this building.
The little vibes coming from the radio.
Because there's that sense of like it's not just playing music, but it's like it's the audio design of the music playing from the inside
love
of the
that.
car and kind of like traveling down, and then you
Yeah.
close the door and it's more muffled, and it's just like
great.
that kind of nuance,
Love that.
Animal Well as well.
Animal.
Really-
Where's Animal Well?
It's here later. It gets some of its due, but yeah, I think it's another one that probably just got edged out of those, top spots.
Yeah.
But yeah, the audio
Shining a
design
light
and
on the
stuff
Game
in
Awards
there.
flaws right now.
Yeah. And I think Frostpunk 2's got some really good audio as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Game's crazy. Gotta stream that. Stream that over the Christmas break, dude. Frostpunk.
Oh,
Let's get
yes.
chilly. Let's get
Get
chilly in
chilled.
Frostpunk. Yeah.
Performances.
This is always one of my favorite categories.
Yeah. Brianna White from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth
Incredible.
as Aerith.
Incredible.
They just won Golden Joystick, I think.
Yeah. They got a golden joystick. Hannah Tell, Life is Strange Double Exposure.
Incredible.
Max Caulfield.
Hell yeah.
Humberly Gonzalez from Star Wars Outlaws. Main character.
You were
Yeah.
name.
No.
I don't remember her
No. Vess.
Vess. Yep.
It was good. I needed to process it all. That's what that was. I was just like thinking about it all because that's another game I finished.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about it all.
Luke Roberts
Yeah.
in Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
James
Hell yeah.
Sunderfield.
Yep.
And then Melina Jurgens for Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I had problems with Hellblade 2. That is not one of them. Like,
Yeah,
her
for
in that
sure.
role is just legendary. Like, what a treat. Tour de force. We don't say that enough. It's very
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah, I think the one thing, I'm not super invested in this category as you are, but I think the one thing I appreciate here is that we didn't get any kind of like, a celebrity just showed up, right? Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in World of Tanks for 5 seconds. He gets
Sure.
Like, I remember like Spike years, there would be some of that kind of thing going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
This just in, Blood hates Idris Elba.
No. What?
Because
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
he
Phantom
nominated
Liberty.
last year for just like
I mean, he was the
Exactly
main
what you're talking
character in
about?
that game.
Yeah, it wasn't just a cameo.
no,
like you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Idris Elba rules, by the way.
Hell
exactly.
yeah. Stringer Bell.
Hell yeah.
One that's not something that we vote on because they have the special group of people for this is innovation and accessibility. Mm-hmm. Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws
Yeah.
for accessibility.
Heck yeah.
I was looking into these for this, and like, man, a lot of these have really good
Yep.
things. Like, this is one of the only things I liked about Dragon Age is that it had really good options for this. And Call of Duty, of course, has just like god tier ones. Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This is a competitive category.
If you watched our interview with Rod Fergusson, he talks about
Yeah.
he goes in about accessibility with a really cool perspective. It's really
okay.
interesting. Check it
Nice,
out.
nice.
Yeah.
And then Games for Impact, Closes the Distance, which is one that I've definitely missed. Indica,
Hell yeah.
Neva, Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kinzera Zao got in there on Impact.
Sick.
Most of these are 5, and this one gets 6.
Yeah, I don't know how they just determine that. Like randomly, some of these categories get 6.
Please play Indica, everybody.
Indica.
I really, really loved it. It's one of my favorites of this year. It's really good and
Fear the
so
Spotlight
weird.
Could have been here. I feel
Fear the
like.
Spotlight could have been here.
I think Fear the
yeah.
I think Fear the Spotlight could have been here. I think I'm surprised Metaphor is not in here. And then like
1,000 Times Resist should be here for sure.
right, and then like Neva
Never.
pulls on the heartstrings, but I'm not sure like where the impact part of it is, other than like it's a very emotional game. Like I'm not really sure 100%
This-
where that comes from.
This is another category where I think different outlets interpret it differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Because every year you see this where it's like, like a game about an issue will be in here, and I think to me that's more what this category is for. But then
Right.
you'll have some that are just like, this was an emotionally heavy game, but not necessarily about that kind of stuff. And so it's like, yeah, it's an interesting category in that way.
Best ongoing game, Destiny 2, Good year for Destiny.
Yeah, Final Shape, dude. What a way to go out. I've heard complaints about post-launch stuff just because Bungie and,
Yeah.
well,
they
changing personnel.
laid
and,
all the people off. Yep.
Exactly, and changing focus. And but the Final Shape itself was an excellent expansion.
Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14.
Damiani.
Curious what Dami is going to think about that. Fortnite and Helldivers 2.
Fortnite, dude, making the list.
This is everything you've been saying about like what people play or like the trendy things. To me, this is a bit of why maybe like 14 got on the list this time. Obviously, it's still a very strong game, but I would say this is probably the year. If there was something else that maybe was a little bit more deserving, probably should have got bumped up
Honestly,
onto that list.
Would have loved to have seen some Outlast Trials get
Yep.
some love and respect
Something like-
here,
yeah.
man.
Also,
Like,
Dead by Daylight
Dude.
just keeps putting
It's-
stuff out. Yeah.
Dude.
It's been on there for so many years. It's gotten its like accolades
Yeah.
for this. It doesn't need to win every year. And if this was like a year, like this has been an off year for them. Like there's been like a few bumps in the road for like the content for it.
It happens.
And then when we get to the next one as well, there's like the other side of it where like community has not been exactly great this year either. So yeah.
I know.
You know what
that-
has a great community? Outlast Trials.
Oh, yeah. That's
10 out
right.
of 10.
You've been done
10
with that.
out of 10 friendly, dude.
Dude, likewise, like I know my inexplicable and undying love for Warframe is a meme at this point, but like I think that Warframe would
That's
be
true.
great in ongoing and community.
Yeah.
Warframe's big update 1999 is coming out in December, so it's like not
Just missed
it's
Yeah, that's
missed
for
it,
next year, yeah.
but like they always have like that community is amazing and the support is amazing and
We are
Yeah.
now, the world is deprived of seeing you rooting for Hellblade at the game, or
Warframe?
at the Game Awards, damn it.
Some years they show up like they. That's why I started playing Warframe was because Reb
Yeah.
and Megan were on stage and I was like, this game seems nice. So yeah, but yeah, Warframe.
Another instance of people having rules in their head that weren't there. Helldivers 2, some people had questions about because it's like, well, it came out this year. How can it be an ongoing game? Because they're thinking like, oh, ongoing is for a game that's already came out
Yeah.
and then put out new
Okay.
content this year. But for me, it's like, Helldivers 2 is exactly an ongoing
Yeah,
game.
it's
It's
just
like
they
just keep
Yeah.
like changing
But-
things and adding things as the months go by.
But there was a long, bad, big speed bump in there. Just
that was
with
Sony's
weapon
fault, wasn't
balance.
it? Oh, that thing.
There was
Oh, yeah,
multiple
yeah.
things. They made all the weapons weaker. They made things harder than they needed to be. Like the bug killing power fantasy went away for a while. Finally, after like many months, they finally listened to everyone and they were like, okay, we're gonna literally make every single gun in this game stronger. So they like cranked it up.
But is that not exactly what this category should
Yeah.
like
Right.
No, I'm
should
just saying,
reward?
I'm
Is
saying
like,
it took a long time. So if you're
Yeah.
saying it's best ongoing game of the year, like, well, what if 6 months of the year was not great?
Interesting.
yeah,
like-
I guess community support is
Yeah.
responding to your community. Yeah.
Yeah. And in that, we've got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14 again, Fortnite, Helldivers 2 again, and No Man's Sky, which one ridiculous update after another.
Yeah.
That's one I'm surprised
Yeah.
is not an ongoing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The distinction drawn in these two categories is strange.
yeah, for
as,
sure.
as well.
Yeah.
Because again, it is like if you're not like really in that community and experiencing where the back and forth is, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to see as an outsider.
Yeah.
Best indie.
Best indie, baby.
Hottest category of the year.
So this one is brutal because
It's
no matter
insane.
what, there has to be cuts.
Yeah.
Right.
It's brutal. Like Mini Shoot Adventure is one of the
Yeah.
best I've played all year. I'm saying 9 Souls. I'm not done with it yet, but holy shit.
Right. Well,
And the
speaking
nominees,
to that,
yeah,
Animal
are
Well,
crazy.
mind-blowing freaking experience of
Yeah.
that game. Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
These are all bangers.
Never
Ever.
and UFO 50.
UFO 50, dude.
UFO 50, bro.
UFO 50, Isla.
How about 50 indie games? You like that?
50 games for one award. How does that break the rules?
Yeah.
50. Sick.
Stay above 50.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that that's in there. Thank God.
I would love to, like, this is a category that could have easily had 6. If
10,
if
fuck
others,
it.
yeah, I mean, fucking A, yeah.
Like, respect the indies, love the indies, nurture the
I am your
indies,
beast,
prop
dude.
them up.
I'm your
give them
You
beast.
gotta
10.
put your time into I Am Your Beast.
I will.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where I think, I mean, it's criminal that it's not in the next one, but Fear the Spotlight, I think they made both this one and Best Debut.
Do people love it as much as you?
I think no one's ever heard of
We
it besides you
love
and me.
it.
I think we're the only
I
two
think other
human
people that
beings
have
on
played
the
it saw
planet
that for
Earth.
sure. Yeah. Debut indie. So this is always a tricky one because like you got to do your research.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of things that you guys suggested, and I looked at it. I was like, nope.
Yeah,
got to take that off the list. So.
Every time I suggest games for this category, I put question marks because I'm like, is it actually their first one? I don't know.
But we had Animal Well. We had Balatro. Manor Lords, which I think is one that hit out a little outside of our circle.
Freaking Janet was big on Manor Lords, I think.
Pacific Drive, and then the Plucky Squire. Which I think you were saying.
I'm a little
before.
hard on Plucky Squire for sure, but it's debut, so
yeah.
this category seems really, really cool.
But I mean, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if Mini Shoot Adventures is there.
No idea.
Or
I'd have to look it up.
yeah, I know Nine Souls is not because they were the ones who did
Right. Yeah, definitely not.
the Taiwanese one, like Devotion or that game that got like.
And I
pulled
think even
from-
the guys that did Bow, they had something else before
Got
that.
it,
Yeah.
got it,
So
got it.
This one, yeah, I mean, like, you know, not to single out which one I think it should replace, but I think Fear the Spotlight should absolutely be in here.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't know if Indica is there first, but I would have loved to see that
It's not,
in
yeah.
one of the, okay, best indie game then, because, like, that, yeah, they're both just so good.
mobile games,
Skip.
completely out of our sphere. AFK Journey. Balatro, though.
Oh, hey, Balatro.
Pokemon trading card game Pocket. A lot of people playing that the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Wuthering Waves.
Chris was showing, I was at Chris's place the other, like, last week, and Chris went back from Game Trailers days, and, like, he was showing me the TCG game, you know, and he was showing me how you could peek the cards before you, like, look
right.
at
Yeah.
before you, like, actually go through the cards, you can, like, peek on the edges to see if you got a gold. It's so funny.
And then Zenless Zone Zero rounded out that mobile list.
Triple Z.
MiHoYo. VR, AR games. Arizona Sunshine Remake.
They remade that?
They did, yeah.
I had that same question.
The hell?
I
thought
only
about
found out
downloading
that
it, but
happened
I
like a
didn't.
couple weeks ago.
Yo,
Yeah.
what?
Asgard's Wrath 2.
Every time I
Yeah.
boot up my Steam, they want me to play Arizona Sunshine.
Oh.
Every time.
No.
Every single time.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
like,
you
should
play a lot
this."
of zombie stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
They know. They're trying to get me.
Batman Arkham Shadow.
Dope. I want to play.
Metal Hellsinger VR.
Cool.
And Metro Awakening.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to bring in the.
Yeah, I
My
really
Quest
want to
3
play
so you
Batman
can-
Isla.
I got motion sick instantaneously.
I will probably too.
with full comfort settings like tunneling and everything. Weirdly,
Yeah.
Asgard's Wrath didn't make me motion sick.
That one looks the best, right? Is
It's
that the best? Is that the
crazy.
front runner?
Maybe.
Or Batman?
It depends what you care about. Like to
Yeah.
me, I was talking about this with Blood the other day, where it's like the walking around like first person action like or first person shooter kind of games aren't really what I like VR for. I'm more in the like super hot Beat Saber, you know, that kind of stuff, like just weird VR shit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to play a lengthy story game in VR.
Yeah.
Even with like a better headset, like I can only tolerate VR for like, you know, 30 to 60 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, to me it's just like I can't do it, but yeah. They seem cool. Batman and Asgard's Wrath are definitely like
yeah.
high budget, like big huge adventure kind of things for sure.
Yeah.
And Metro also. Metro looks sick.
Yeah, dude. Love Metro.
Time for the genres.
Ugh.
Yeah, and like even Jeff kind of prefaces this. It's like genres are bleeding into everything, and it's like so just don't nominate something into two genre categories. Yeah. But yeah, best action game: Wukong, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer Space Marine 2.
I finished that one.
Yeah.
I finished a lot of fucking games this year.
That's what I was wondering, like, what you were thinking on Warhammer, whether, like...
It's a really nice package. So they've got, like, the co-op campaign. They've got PvP, which is surprisingly, like, pretty fun.
Nice.
And then they have these other separate co-op missions as well, where you can, like, level up your character and equip them with different things and different skills. There's, like, a lot of depth outside of the main campaign. That's a feel-good nom, for sure.
Yeah. The feel good. I would have won in there.
To see it in there, but
yeah, the one I would like to squeeze in there would be like I Am Your Beast, for sure. So that's just pure action, just like that speed running vibe of like let me just perfect how to like hit every single one of these guys as quickly as possible and get out.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Stellar Blade there because I like like specifically this feels like combat focus vibes, right? Like I prefer the combat of that over Wukong. You know, Wukong being nominated for GOTY clearly has the edge here.
Right.
But I just love the combat so much more in Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
Makiri Dodge, dude. Makiri Dodge.
Action adventure. So focus on exploration.
Just take the word action out of it, you know? Like, I know adventure games are a different thing.
Right.
I mean, call it something else.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're limited on words that everybody understands. Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown,
Yay.
Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Wait, Star Wars Outlaws for what?
Action adventure. So,
and that means like exploration.
It means third-person
focus on exploration
action
and puzzle solving and yeah. So
this is a weird
your
list.
Tomb Raiders, your Metroidvanias.
I'm a defender of Star Wars Outlaws, but this one feels weird.
Oh yeah, I think open world tends to be an action adventure.
Yeah.
The one for me is like I would quickly swap Zelda with Animal Well. Like I like Zelda,
probably,
but it's like
Yeah.
it didn't hit those highs.
Yeah. Interesting.
RPG.
Yeah, dude. The year of the RPG, like we've been saying all year.
Every genre's an
The
RPG
best.
now, anyways. But
Best year for RPGs, dude.
the ones that actually made it into the RPG category. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah!
There it is.
Hell
Finally,
yeah.
we did it.
For best RPG, too. That's
Yeah.
no slouch.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a big one. Way to go.
It's a real RPG.
Way to go.
Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yep.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Nice.
And Metaphor.
What a fucking stacked category. Oh my goodness. Any one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tight,
That's a
tight
fun one.
This
That
is
is
a tight
a-
one.
Yeah, that is so fun.
What's tough with this one? So like,
Leaving off like Unicorn Overlord and
well, Unicorn,
Well, that's
Unicorn
in a
made it in
different-
strategy.
got it.
Unicorn Overlord is in VR also, by the way, with mixed reality.
Wild.
I was looking at that and I was like, wait, what?
That
so
is
you can like
insane.
Didn't
you
know
like
that.
play little you like you know the little isometric level will be like on your coffee table. And you're just like
Dude!
doot, doot, doot. And I'm like I've like almost bought it like 4 times. And it's like $50 and I'm like I'm not gonna probably play the whole thing because
Right.
Sounds
that's like
awesome,
100 hours
though.
or some shit.
That's some like that Star Wars chess
Oh, that's
game
triangle
they play.
strategy. That's triangle strategy.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
triangle
yeah,
strategy.
Okay, yeah, no, I have
Triangle
heard of that. I
strategy,
have heard of
sorry.
that.
Still
Got it.
I got my nonsense bullshit names mixed up.
That is still really cool.
The one that I'm not sure about on this
Best
one, Huber,
RPG.
is Dragon Age. Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Yeah.
Like because like it's really strong, but then
In
I'm
the
also like
RPG-ness.
I'm also looking at this list and I'm like, but what would I swap? I'm
Yeah.
not sure. And then the other thing is that timing. Like I was saying, Dragon Age came out on the 31st. And like the nominations were like due not that long afterwards, and so it's like how many people got into it. a lot. Like I've liked Dragon Age from the jump.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of people that were like,
polarizing.
dude, I did not like this in Act 1 and then started to love it afterwards.
Yeah,
Blood.
Wukong has that too. Wukong starts really slow and then builds and builds and builds and builds. Yeah.
Not trying to start a shit fight or anything, but like
It's goaties. It is by default.
I played hours of Dragon Age, and it made me angry for 2 days because I hated it so much. The writing is abysmal, dude. Like, oh man,
It's so like, because you're not the only person that says that. But
Like,
it's
it's-
like,
it is
even after
so-
hearing people say that, and I play it, and I'm like, I'm not seeing the problem. I'm enjoying these people.
I'm
and these,
so happy for you. Like, like, what does it sound like in your head? Like, this is, oh my word. It was so twee and so, like, false adorable. And, like, they kept reiterating the plot. And, I mean, I don't need, whatever. I'm not, I shouldn't just sit here and shit on Dragon Age. It just, oh man.
You're venting though. It did bother you. Just
dude,
let it out. Let it out.
I was playing it and I was like, I am in a horrible mood right now. Like, why? Yeah, and I was so looking forward to it too. Like, I was so into it, and I played it and oh man, ooh.
wild.
Do you
I don't know.
do you think if we pitched it, Keeley would add best 7?
Dude,
No.
I doubt it. That would be so funny though.
I don't know. Maybe Dragon Age is like cilantro. There's like some genetic thing. Where you
I
just
think
can't
that
handle-
might, yeah.
like, I don't know. Because like, and then the more more time I spend with it, the more I like the
Yeah,
characters. It's like,
on the outside, I'm like, I think I'll like this.
Yeah.
I think I will.
Well, it's funny
maybe
too
not.
because it's like, well, never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Best fighting game. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Multiverses and Tekken 8.
Tekken 8 seems to be the front runner here. I have heard nothing but goatee talks for it since it came out.
Really like
All I do is hear how good Tekken 8 is.
Damiani's heard something.
Probably is. Yeah, I've heard like the support for it hasn't been stellar though. Post release,
Yeah.
Like I think Tekken fans after the honeymoon period ended, they're kind of like a little upset with how Bandai Namco just doesn't seem to want to be like every other fighting game developer, and just I mean, I guess some others have missteps too, but their stances on some things have been causing some friction. And then the
Fighting
DLC,
fans
the
really
paid,
hard to
the paid
please,
DLC
I mean.
stuff. They didn't include stages or something, and every other version they've included them, and they didn't make it clear. So when people bought like the pass and they didn't get the stage or something, everyone's like, "What the hell?"
So
like,
some weird shit.
Sounds
like
there's
NetherRealm to me.
Yeah. It sounds like them and like NetherRealm maybe.
I think it's part of it. Like even from some of the stuff I've seen Harada tweeting out and yeah, same thing with Mortal Kombat. It's like I think that fighting games are deceptively expensive.
Oh my god, so
They're
much.
so
They're absurd. Mortal Kombat is one of the most
I'm not saying
overpriced games ever.
But I'm not just saying from your standpoint. I'm not just saying from a customer standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm saying from a development standpoint.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
that like
yeah, yeah.
you think it should be quick and easy, but it's like
Yeah,
no,
no.
this crap costs
Yeah.
a lot of
Like
money.
MK1 is so expensive because like to buy and to play and all the DLCs because that game is you smell the money on MK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because name recognition, it's probably you're right, Hubert. It's probably going to be like the front runner. But Marvel vs. Capcom, that one, the collection, it's like insane that thing became reality. So
yeah.
that would be like I feel like that'd be like a good like.
People
win
would be
for the
okay
community.
with it winning even though they're old games.
Yeah, I think there might be some higher highs if that won it from certain people. You know, might get like a very good reaction from that.
Hell
But,
yeah.
yeah.
Yo, any game with Jill Valentine is automatically a 10 out of 10, and I'm going to root for it. So, yeah. Let's go, Damiani. MVC.
Best family game: Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree,
Yeah, dude.
The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. So this is
Yeah.
a weird
Mario
This is
category
a scuffed
for
ass
me.
category.
Mario Party all day.
We also need to talk about how they define family game.
Right.
Mario Party, you're getting your family together, you're playing a board
Mario
game.
Party's the best fit of this whole.
Yeah.
Let me just give you anecdotal evidence. So Astrobot seems
Yeah.
like a great like kid-friendly game, but like it's intended for certain ages. So my 6-year-old nephew struggled with it, but was like delighted to like tilt the controller at the beginning of the stage to fly in Astrobot on the ship. But once it became to any kind of like hand-eye coordination stuff with the platforming,
Jumping and punching.
it was still a little tough compared to like something like Kirby. Nintendo Kirby games,
Right.
even the 3D ones, do a fantastic job of accounting for stuff like that. Where my 8-year-old nephew was more dexterous, was able to handle a little bit more of that stuff and found it no problem. So thematically, it seems like it's a good game for kids, but gameplay wise, there is definitely like, there's a gap there about where you should probably like expect some like a kid to be able to like handle playing the game without constantly being a mom or dad or whoever like hey, I need help on this level. Hey, I need help on this level. Like they can't really play themselves. But
I don't understand what this category is for. Is it for playing with your family?
That
or is it
too.
for
Right,
or
it
is
feel-
it for just a game that is acceptable for a child to see?
Yeah, it feels like it's E-rated games.
Right, because
Yeah.
like 2001: A Space Odyssey is rated G, but it ain't for a 2-year-old. They'd be bored out of their minds.
But like Huber and I were saying, like Plucky Squire, like it's got some high points, but maybe not high enough to make this list.
Especially too, it's such a single player game.
Yeah.
I
Same
mean,
thing.
let me
Zelda's
just-
a fully single player game.
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean-
like Princess Peach Showtime, to Damiani's point, like I think it actually is designed pretty well for younger players to be able to get in there and enjoy it and
Yeah.
not feel like things are overly complicated. But it still lacks a bit of depth.
Yeah. And also, maybe don't play Mario Party with your family because it might tear it apart. So
Yeah.
maybe avoid it.
if it's best game for kids, the answer every year is Minecraft. By the way,
Yeah,
if you're about
100%.
to become
No.
a parent or something, it's
Minecraft all
Minecraft.
day.
But here's the thing.
No, it's Minecraft.
It's Minecraft.
It's not an argument. It's Minecraft.
It's Minecraft.
It's Minecraft.
It's Minecraft, dude.
Minecraft.
It's an iPad
Minecraft.
with Bluey on it. That's
Minecraft.
Bluey is while they're eating
Bluey's
in
big.
between
Among Us
Minecraft
is still big
sessions.
with
Among
little
Us.
kids. Like
Sure.
little kids love Among
Bluey,
Us. Yeah.
dude. Bluey, because we were hanging out with our friends who have kids.
Bluey's for adults.
Bluey makes me fucking cry, dude.
Yeah,
every episode, like there's some episodes about like there was one about like moms, and I like started actually crying. But like every episode, even at the end, they're so happy. It just makes me like cry. I don't know.
Legit.
But no, I think Monkey Ball was stronger than half of this list. Monkey Ball. That Monkey Ball game is really good. And there's lots of party modes and multiplayer stuff in there.
Outlast Trials. Great family game.
No, but Huber, Cat Quest 3
Heck was 3!
should have been in there. Like, perfect. Just perfect.
Dude, another great RPG.
Yes.
Year of the RPG. man.
And this is one where I think, again,
Cat Quest 3.
the deadline got us. Lego Horizon.
Lego Horizon. Prime family game there.
Yeah.
Co-op too.
One I'm surprised isn't in here actually. Again, anecdotal evidence. Sonic X Shadows Generations.
Yeah.
The game, like the on rails nature of it makes it very easy, especially if like a lot of kids are more in tune with like mobile control schemes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more analogous. Now the shadow parts get a little bit more complicated, but some stages and a lot of the Sonic Generation stuff still fit that mold. Yeah.
Yep. Best sim strategy, which is usually a place where it's the no man's land for me, but there are actually a few of these in here that I know and love. Age of Mythology Retold.
Dope. Shout out to Ben Hansen.
Frostpunk 2, Huber.
Frostpunk 2.
So good.
Freaking uncompromising.
Kunitsigami.
Is in there?
Yes.
Awesome! Dude, that's one of my favorite games this year. It's so fun. Oh,
Manor Lords is in there. And then Unicorn Overlord is in there.
nice.
Not in VR.
Dude.
Not in VR.
This
That's a strong list. That's a hard
Yeah,
list.
this is a hardcore.
I'm feeling-
category.
After going through all of this Bloodworth, I'm feeling so much better about everything because if you've seen my GOTY talks, what do I care most about? Nominations. Getting nominated to me is more important a lot of the time than winning because of the popularity vibe, because of the flawed nature of GOTYs. Just being nominated is huge, and I'm seeing a lot of variety in the nominations the further we get down this list. A lot of games like Prince of Persia and Kinetsugami, you said, and Frostpunk, getting in there, getting recognition, having a spot, even if it's a brief moment in the show, even just being there for a moment is like validating and hyping up the quality of your game and celebrating it.
Yep.
So I really love that.
Sports and racing.
Nice.
F1 24.
That's you.
EA Sports FC 25. NBA 2K25. Top Spin 2K25. And WWE 2K24.
Wait, what? Where's the college football one?
That is the same. I have no idea. I don't know why it's not there.
Wait, what?
Don't know what's going on.
What the hell? Okay.
Collusion, dude.
Highest selling games ever, but
Yeah,
Hit
what?
the emergency meeting button.
yeah. Someone's an imposter, dude.
Could have sworn that'd be in there winning.
Right.
Okay.
multiplayer, Black Ops 6.
Black Ops, dude. One of the best Call of Duties. So good. Dude, you know Call of Duty is good when seriously you're doing other things and you're itching to play, man. I'm just like out and about getting groceries. I'm like, fuck, dude, I gotta play Call of Duty right now.
Helldivers 2.
Oh.
Super Mario Party Jamboree.
I'm pulling for Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Tekken 8. And Space Marine 2.
Nice. Dude, I'm pulling for Mario Party. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, this is a bonkers category.
This is going
too.
down
Yeah,
as
that's a very
like I'm almost ready to say that this actually is the best Mario Party of all time.
Would
Like
you
I'm pretty much ready to say it.
would you pull any of those out for Outlast trials though?
Yeah, say them one more time. One more time.
You're
We
gonna
got
pull
Call of
Space
Duty,
Marine.
Helldivers, Mario Party, Tekken, and Space Marine 2.
I really like Space Marine. I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but I'm also like the Outlast Trials is the most underdog game of the year possible. Like it feels like it was just skipped. So I would go with Outlast there.
All right.
Like Warhammer doesn't need any more love, dude. It's freaking Warhammer. Like Warhammer is going to be just fine.
Getting close to the end. Best adaptation. So this is a video game franchise that has been adapted to another medium, right? Arcane,
Hell yeah.
Fallout,
Hell yeah.
Knuckles. I forgot that existed.
The show.
Knuckles show.
I need to watch it, dude. That's lore.
Like a Dragon Yakuza.
Rough. I scrubbed out. It was so rough. I scrubbed out. The
It's
first
not
one-
even that many episodes, right?
No.
It's like 7 episodes or
Yeah.
something?
The first one, I was like, all right, this is cool. And then I just like got to by the third one, I was like, I'm good.
Oh, bye. And Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft.
This category is one of the categories that either I think should go away in years where it's unwarranted or should not strive to hit 5.
Right.
Because like we're kind of saying, like, you know, no shade, whatever, but like it's clearly Arcane or Fallout. And like we struggled, like I struggled to even think of 5 like adaptations that are worthy of a nomination. Like
Yo,
there-
yeah, like, you, like
things are
literally
being,
having to do research.
No,
And
I
like,
heard,
Right.
I heard that
most
Tomb
of
Raider
the things
show's
I would
sick.
find are
But,
like,
like,
oh, that's not out yet, or oh,
things
that's
being
next year.
nominated just because you have to fill 5. Like if a thing doesn't deserve to be nominated, don't nominate it, you know? Like
I heard Tomb Raider's
leave it
sick.
blank.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've heard good things about it.
It's funny because Arcane finishes tomorrow as we tape this. No, not even tomorrow.
Arcane's
Saturday.
winning.
Yeah, I don't think Arcane, was available unless you had like an early screener, basically.
Arcade's win.
No,
Arcane's winning.
Arcane dropped on the first episode. The first 3 episodes was 2 weeks ago. The second chunk was on Saturday previous, and the
Yeah.
last 3 are this Saturday.
Yeah, so I think
So
that was
they-
after the nominations.
It's after the nominations, but before the voting.
Before that's what I mean. It
Yeah.
was after the
Yeah.
nomination,
Yeah.
but it was before
So
the
people-
cutoff.
People nominated it on spec,
Right.
and it's, you know, I mean, you know, the needle drops are absurd, but like I think it's pretty good so far. But like if it sticks the landing, then it'll be great. But Fallout, just from terms of adaptation,
Yeah, Fallout was.
was so
so good.
strong.
It was so
I
good.
just watched it.
It's
Yeah.
for
so
this.
good.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge Fallout fan. I've played every Fallout game, beaten all of them several times except for maybe Tactics. But like the nods and the attention to detail in the
Yeah.
Fallout show. I mean, Arcane as well. Like the attention to detail in Arcane is absurd. But like, yeah, both of those are so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sick.
Most anticipated.
This is my favorite category. Let's go.
This is my least favorite category.
I am most invested in this one. I wonder why. Let's go.
Death Stranding 2. Ghost of Yote. Grand Theft Auto 6.
There it is. There it is.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And Monster Hunter Wilds.
GTA 6. GTA 6.
Yo.
GTA 6. The most anticipated game of all
I was
time.
gonna say, where the hell is Kingdom Hearts 4?
Where's Kingdom Hearts 4?
Kingdom Hearts 4?
The only thing that could compete against GTA
What?
6, dude. Kingdom Hearts 4.
Like what?
I'd be nervous. I'd be like, oh shit.
It's announced. It's official. It's not speculative. It's like it's.
Yeah.
But
We've seen the trailer.
But have they said 2025? I guess that
is
doesn't matter, does it?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It could
doesn't
come out
matter.
next year. There's nothing that they've not said it's not coming out next year. So it's like, I don't know. They either need to like change it to it has to have an official hard date in like 2025, and that's all anticipated means is like next most anticipated game in 2025, and we should state like it must have a piece of official
Yeah.
marketing that states that date.
Yo, there's,
of 2025.
But I don't think there is a rule for it. I think it's just most
There isn't. I'm just saying
anticipated,
it should have that rule if it's going to be that.
There's
This is
real,
what it feels like.
There's real stakes here because we need GTA 6 to win so we can hear what they say during the speech about the game, dude. Or like, give us some information.
Thank you and move on.
Bargaining.
It'll
Well,
drop
thank
if
you.
it's
We
bargaining
can't
with
even see it. We got more
They're not
news
even
for you
gonna
at some
be there.
point. Peace. They're not gonna see.
And also, yeah, they don't get a speech, right?
I don't think they get a speech for this either. Unless GTA 6 wins and Huber's like, oh, Keely's gonna get them on stage.
I bet the year
have a
that
trailer
game
ready to
comes
go.
out, it could win GOTY and they probably won't even be there.
Could have a trailer. I want to say there could be a trailer for that at the Game Awards for real. It's time.
And then we got two more categories that we are not involved with, nor do we know much about. Content Creator of the Year, Case O, Ilowan, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Pecora. Never heard any of those names before this.
Queso has I don't know anything about them, but like I've seen a lot of clips of them playing Dress to Impress, the Roblox game, which is and those clips are very funny. Also, yeah, Pirate Software should be on there.
And then Best Esports game, Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, LOL, and Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Mobile Legends Bang Bang. I like that name.
Like, I'm like reading that, like, is that, I copied and pasted it, so it has to be right, I guess.
Cool name.
Is that doesn't feel like a real video game. That sounds like something you made up for a movie.
Awesome.
Awesome. So there it is. The hour and a half
I
of
love
this
it.
show.
We have
Anything
time.
I
else to
love
say?
it. I am feeling a little better about it. Actually, there's a lot of games represented. A lot, truly. You add up every single game mentioned at least one time there. That was a lot of games. And this year's been great overall. So just getting more of those games recognized is a win. Obviously, remember, like we started this conversation, GOTYs are weird and flawed. So just take them seriously, but also with extreme context.
Yeah. And like especially the Game Awards specifically, like, you know, it's a show. Keely is putting on a show and no one would watch it if it didn't have a bunch of announcements and ads and all this shit in it. And like the ads are to pay the bills, but like people it gets so many views because of the announcements and the news, and then the awards are the icing on the cake. And I know like a lot of people don't love that, and like, you know, and to me I kind of see it from both angles, where it's like I'm happy that it exists and that there is kind of that that bait to get people to watch the awards elements of it, you know? Like, you know, your BAFTAs, your joysticks, your Indie
Shout
Game
out,
Awards,
BAFTA.
you know, these are the things, like, to me, I think are more just like serious award shows, you know? But the viewership numbers, you know, speak as plain as day. Like, people don't care. They don't watch that as nearly as much. And like, you know, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. And like, obviously gamers are a passionate crew. And, but yeah, I think like you gotta see Game Awards for what it is, which is, it's a TV show that has some weird rules, and it's just mainly, you know, it's for fun plus, you know, like the awards do mean something. Like, I think that it is striving to be this kind of momentous honor. And I think like it isn't not that, you know, it is a big honor, but like it's also a product, and it also has to pay the bills, and it also has to be entertaining, or people wouldn't watch it.
In record numbers, no less.
Right.
Every year, he says, like, breaking records. It's wild.
Right, Huber.
Yo.
Earlier today,
Yeah.
you got to talk with Rod Fergusson.
Yeah, dude.
About Diablo 4 and
Yeah,
Vessel of
dude.
Hatred and like where Diablo's at. So we're gonna roll that interview here in a second. But before we get to it, anything you wanna say up front?
It was really fun. Obviously, I love doing interviews in person, but it's so hard. So there's the Zoom vibe, which is fine, but I just something about
Oh
you
yeah.
know, that I miss. But he was such a pleasure to talk to, and
Yeah, he was great.
you know, we're coming in at a really exciting time for this entire franchise. Like, Diablo 4 is in an excellent spot, especially if you play Spiritborn. So yeah, it was just really fun to talk to him right now, you know, 1 month after the new expansion. So it's just a really good time, and he's got some really good insights about, you know, accessibility and balance and stuff. It's cool.
Also, there's a scoop in here. We won't say what it is, but there's a
Yes!
scoop in here.
Yes! Sell that scoop. I forgot about that. We have a
Yeah.
legit scoop. I'm not even kidding.
They might talk about it somewhere else before our episode goes public 2 days from now, 3
Yeah.
days from now, but right now it's a scoop.
We have a
as far as I know.
legitimate Diablo 4 scoop.
Yeah, so check it out.
Nice. We'll be back in a second.
Hello, everyone. I am joined by none other than the general manager of the Diablo franchise, Rod Fergusson. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come here or to be here and to talk Diablo. First up, Vessel of Hatred has been out for a little over a month now. How are you feeling about the state of the game right now?
State of the game right now. I feel really good. I mean, we've brought so much to the game. One of the things we've been talking about, we just got nominated for Best Ongoing Game for the Game Awards recently.
Yeah, congrats.
And so it was a great moment to sort of reflect on like where we were at launch of the main game, and you know, the kind of 18 months ish it's been since then, and where we are today with season 6 and the Vessel of Hatred. And I feel really good. Like we've been able to really change how we listen, how we listen to players, how we talk to players. We've been constantly improving the game with every season. And so being here at season 6 with, you know, the new ways to play and all that other stuff that the expansion brings. And, you know, I think people who are, if they're playing Diablo, they'll be a little like spicy around like, what about the Spiritborn? And I'm like, yeah, people are having fun with the Spiritborn right now. Like, it's a little overpowered because of certain things. And, you know, if somebody spends some money to have some fun, I don't want to take it away from them, you know. So look, you know, season 7 will be the time of making sure things are much more balanced. But it's a lot of fun right now.
Yeah, we will definitely be talking about balance in a minute, but you mentioned Spiritborn, and obviously when an expansion comes out and you have a brand new class, that's really exciting. When did those ideas start to come together behind the scenes? Like, when did you want to create this Spiritborn class?
I mean, that's the thing I think not everybody understands is like to get to the sort of schedule that we had, where we had season 1 6 weeks after launch, and we had the expansion, you know, when we did, it's basically, whatever, 16 months after launch. That stuff has to all start beforehand. So we had people working on the seasons and people working on the expansion even before the main game had launched. And so that's part of just like having a big team, trying to get a lot of stuff done. And that's some of the challenges. That's why I think like one of the great things about having a live game is that every season we get feedback and we're able to, listen to what the players are saying and then kind of continue to adjust it. And that's what you see kind of where we feel like we're in a good spot, a really good spot with season 6. In terms of Spiritborn, yeah, it was, I don't know, it was definitely, it was early on in the ideation for the expansion. We knew like the expansion had, in its earliest form, had to have 3 things. It had to have story, we had to have a campaign, we wanted a new zone, and we wanted a new class. And so those were what we call the MVP, the minimum viable product. Like we're like, okay, these are at a minimum, it's these 3 things. And then of course we went on to add the Dark Citadel and the Chaos Undercity and Ruins and Mercenaries, and like, there's lots of other stuff layered into that. But those 3 things were the main core, what we call the MVP. And so that we thought about that a lot. And it really came from the Spiritborn itself, really came from a couple of places. And one was from a mechanics perspective, like what are the types of ways you play Diablo today? And we have a long range character, we have a melee character, we have a magic character. Like what is a different way to play? And so there's that notion of a bit of a summoner and trying to talk about like the different ways that you could do that. And then there was a click in terms of the way we think about the region. So our art director, John Mueller, was very much like, hey, we have a lot of Gothic medieval kind of architecture in the main game. I think it'd be really great if we as a team could kind of stretch our legs a little bit and do something that's visually different. So
cool.
So what about an ancient jungle? And we're like, oh, that sounds really cool. And we're like, well, we just happen to have one. Like just to the south of the continent, we have yes. with Kuras and so in a place we call Nahantu. And so that notion of like as going to another place. And then once we had that idea of like, let's go to this ancient jungle, that's where we started to add the flavor in on the Spiritborn of like, well, if we want this type of play style, but we want it to feel cohesive as an expansion, like it came from Nahantu, what would that mean? And then we started talking about like the Guardians, or at least the different elements of the jungle. And then it sort of kept clicking, even to the point where we were like, oh wait, like we're actually taking Mephisto's Soulstone back to Kuras, which is where his Soulstone originated, right? And so it became this full circle moment for a lot of things. And so we were really excited about how that all kind of came together.
Yeah, was Mephisto always planned to come back for this expansion, or did that kind of just happen because you were talking about making the jungle and then all of that kind of fall into place?
He was always coming. No, he was always that we knew as we went in as we talked about expansions, we knew we wanted to. We had his daughter, and we knew that she was going to be the antagonist for the main game. And then, so it was really more about, okay, like what's the next thing as we lead into expansions? And sometimes expansions can go into isolated independent stories. And we thought it would be really cool if we could kind of just continue the main story and have that kind of keep telling. So that was sort of the notion of, we see Neyrelle leave at the end of D4. Where is she going? What is she doing? We defeated Lilith, but have we really dealt with the real problem? Because Lilith is really there to help in her own way defend Sanctuary from the primevals. And so in some ways, you stopped the her own way part, but you still have to deal with the primeval part. And so that's where Mephisto came in. And so we've always been thinking about him.
That's awesome. Before we started, again, special shout out to Neyrelle. We were talking about her for a second. She
was a trooper.
She was so good in this expansion. Like one of the best character arcs in Diablo in recent memory for me. I loved it. I want to talk about balance for a minute.
Sure.
How, I am in awe always of just how you guys balance something like this.
Right.
And can you just tell us about that process and what different team members value when it comes to balance, and if there's any class bias? I'm sure all of you have your favorite classes, and if that maybe gets in there at all.
I don't know, but the joke, people know I have a necromancer tattoo, so they always, anytime the necromancer is powerful, they think it's something I did because I my tattoo. No, it's Diablo is, I like to say Diablo is the kind of game that's too big for any one person. Like no one person can have it all in their head. And so that's why I always find funny when people say like, well, you did this or you did that. I'm like, I couldn't, even if I wanted to, like, there's no way to hold all of this in your head when you take all the skills and all the legendary affixes and all the gear and all the monsters. Like, it's too much for one person, and so it really takes a team to be able to do that. And I think one of the things we learned as part of our being in a live game is that we learned that we had to value balance differently, because when you're sort of in development, you're really focused on trying to get to kind of like a pure balance, like this idea that everybody's equal in some way. And so this notion, and so we're doing like lots of internal and external playtesting and alphas and betas on our way to launch. And then but you never know at scale what's going to happen. Like people always go like, well, how does the Spiritborn get to be what the Spiritborn is today? And you go, scale, like you give that to millions of people and they find things that maybe that you didn't, just with your hundreds of people you didn't catch, or whatever, your thousands that tested it. And so it's so early on we were doing lots of testing, and what we were doing is very focused on like what's the pure balance. And so I think that's what happened when you look back at our history and going into season 1. It was like, okay, we're going into season 1, this is a great opportunity to balance the game based on all the feedback, the 6 weeks of feedback we have from the launch. And we kind of went in with what's the purity of the balance rather than what's the funness of the balance, if you will. And so so we kind of went into season 1, and a lot of people were like, hey, like I'm way less powerful than I used to be, and and we're like, no, but we're making everybody equal. And they're like, yeah, but no, this part isn't as fun anymore. And you're like, yeah, that's a really good call out. Like we've been so tuning for ourselves for so long that we have to, once your game goes live, you have to think about, like, it's essentially you've given the game to the player, and so you have to sort of say like, okay, how do I tune for them, and how do I balance for them? And so we had to start changing our philosophy around, hey, if something's overpowered, is it breaking something? Like, because we've had something actually, like, if you do it, you could bring down a server. So we're like, okay, we have to fix that. Like, you can't have, 1,000 dust devils going out of the barbarian whirlwind, like we just can't do that. As fun as it is, like you can't see anything and it's going to bring down our servers. So you have to go like, we have to fix that. But then there's ones where there's just like, like the Spiritborn is a good example today. Like the Spiritborn can hit for a lot of damage, and but it's not breaking our servers or anything. For some people, it's like, oh, okay, like they're just very strong. And so we have to go like, yeah, but people paid for that. It paid to have fun, and they're having fun. And for us to go like, no, that you're having too much fun. Let's turn it down. Like there's times that you have to, like, that's why we sort of give ourselves 2 opportunities. One is we call it a mid-season patch. So we go like, okay, in the middle of the season is a good time, because what you don't want is somebody working towards a build and every week their build is changing because we're behind the scenes, like, flipping switches and turning knobs. And so what you want is some sort of certainty of like, oh, at least for the first half, I feel good about what is going to be going on, unless it's truly broken. And then there's a moment where we go like, okay, like, we just recently did our mid-season patch for season 6, and we didn't fundamentally change. Like the Spiritborn is still the Spiritborn. But then we go like, okay, but then the start of a new season is another opportunity where we can say, okay, let's look at the meta, who's succeeding, who's not, or what, because we do want every class to have builds that can be sort of what they call S tier. And so when we go and say like, oh, hey, last season the Druid never really got to S tier, let's talk about that, and what do we need to do for the Druid players out there so they can find their S tier build. And so but it's hard because people want instantaneous, and then you get into like you're just swinging things so wildly that you can't kind of keep up with it. Because we've had things literally stuff happen where they're like, the Barbarian's the weakest thing ever, and you're like, okay, like sorry, like, well, look at mid-season, and like 2 weeks later they'll be like, they figure something out, and then it's like, the Barbarian is unstoppable. Like,
we're too strong.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do to nerf it? And you're like, what are you talking about? Like 2 weeks you told us like it would, and so you have to let stuff like settle and people live with it for a while. But yeah, no, there isn't really class bias to go to sort of the other parts of your question. What we're looking at, and actually one of the great things about the pit is that the pit has become this great barometer of class success, so that people can go like, hey, a Spiritborn can get to pit level 150. As a Barbarian, I can only get to pit level 100. maybe there's something there, and you're like, oh, that's, and then, oh, the druid got to 96, and you're like, okay, like this is a great way to, even though it's not perfect, it is an interesting way to kind of take a measurement of, are there builds in each class that can kind of, do the pit thing.
Yeah. The pendulum swings, I can imagine. And just like anytime you reintroduce or introduce like a new mechanic or a new type of dungeon or
Totally. And
you got to like refiddle with everything.
well, yeah, and our seasons, like a lot of our seasons are based on what we call borrowed power. So if you look at season 2, like that was the borrowing the vampire power, right? Like,
yeah.
And so I've been playing season 7, which it wasn't coming out till like January 21st, I think. But season 7 is also a borrowed power kind of season, and when you do that, you're like, well, here goes the meta, because like there's a bunch of new skills and a bunch of new things that classes could do, that when they combine it with their other parts of their skills in their Paragon tree, all of a sudden it's this Pandora's box of things that can happen. And so, we do like, we test it a lot, we play it a lot, but there's always the like, aha, if I do this, and this, all of a sudden, wow, okay, like we might have missed that one, kind of thing. So
I love that.
It's kind of what makes Diablo in a way. Like I find that most fun you have playing Diablo is kind of when you feel like you've outsmarted the game in some way, or that
you try to break it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's that power curve thing, because you get that thing where you're like, oh, I'm going power, and then it's like you hit some thing that where you drop back down, and then all of a sudden you get this other power, and you're stomping everything, and you feel wonderful. And it's that notion where you go like, oh, I found this thing, or I got this piece of loot, or I figured out this skill use that then all of a sudden makes this whole thing make sense. And that to me is like, that's why I had to actually explain to something. We had the notion of something being broke, in video game terminology. Like if you're a hardcore gamer, when somebody goes like, oh, that barbarian, that class is broke, and then you go like, oh, that sounds awesome, I'm gonna go play that, because that means it's like overpowered, or it's really fun. It's so but when like I had a person one time who was not a hardcore gamer, and they were like, I keep hearing there's a problem with the barbarian. It seems to be broken. And I'm like, no, that's not really what they're trying to say to you right now. And actually it means they're having a lot of fun with it, because they feel like they broke the game. And so
it's like when something is sick, it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any struggles between story and gameplay, like things the story team wants to do, or things that, the gameplay and balance teams want to do that maybe they conflict? Or does one come first, or is that more of a collaboration?
It's definitely a collaboration. I don't think, we try to ring fence the story pretty well. So you kind of have to get through the story before a lot of the seasonal stuff kicks in, just in case. That was especially early on. Like we've done a little bit more overlap when you look at the expansion and the Realm Walkers walking around and stuff like that. But when you go back and play the original game, and like when we were doing like season 2 or season 3, like vampire powers, like you couldn't play the main campaign and have vampire powers, because it would totally, like, trying to rebalance the whole campaign was going to be a nightmare every time. So we do a little bit of separation there. One of the things I really like that we did is we brought the Spiritborn to the main campaign. So you can choose not only to play the expansion as any class you want, but you can also go back and play the original campaign as any class, as well as the Spiritborn, because we re-recorded all the lines for the Spiritborn character, so it all makes sense to that as well, right? But no, I mean, we just look hand in hand, and as we think about, I always think of like Diablo's 2 games. I think of it as a campaign story game, and then I think of it as like, depending on how hardcore you are, it's the 100-hour game or it's the 1,000-hour game.
The forever game.
The forever game, right? And so you have to look at like, okay, what are we doing that is the campaign and story game? Because we know there's some people who want to roll credits, and that's all they want to do. And then we have what you call the forever game, which the people are like, I want to be playing, forever. And how do we make sure we have enough end game variety and things to go do to increase your progression? And the reason we do seasons so that you can get that progression loop going again. And that's where I feel like we've hit a sweet spot with season 6, or with the expansion, is adding the Cuirass Undercity, and now the first co-op experience, which is the Dark Citadel, means that now I find that before, when you're early on, it was like, this is the 3 things I have to do to level up, to get to max level. And now I find myself like standing in town going, Infernal Horde, the Pit, Unearned City, like Nightmare Dungeon. Like, what is
Grind some Nightmare Dungeons for resources.
Do I want to go to
Like, what am I gonna
Helltide and
do?
kill a Blood Maiden? Like, is like there's actually like this wide array, and it's like, what do I feel like right
Yeah.
now? So now you can actually like, I feel like kind of just like destroying Helltide right now and going after Cinders, and that's great. Or I want to go play with my friend cooperatively in Dark Citadel. Like, there's lots of choice, and I feel like with when we launched Vessel of Hatred, we kind of got to that place where. And I think you see it in the reviews. People go like, "Oh, this is the best D4's ever been," because you really feel like the end game is there now, and it's understood, and there's a lot of variety and choice there.
Yeah. From Loot Reborn into Vessel of Hatred, what a nice little run right now. Yeah, Diablo 4 feels so good right now.
Well, yeah, and we actually had thanks for that, but we actually had to we looked at that closely because with season 4 is Loot Reborn, what you just talked about, and then season 6 is kind of Progression Reborn, if you will, but we didn't want to call it that. But if you look at like Loot 2.0 and Progression 2.0, we were like, if you're an Eternal player, somebody who's there to just play the campaign, or maybe you don't like to reset on the seasons, because we changed things so fundamentally in those 2 seasons, when you log in and you look at your inventory, you're seeing red skulls on your gear because it's no longer supported. You're got an exclamation mark next to your character because there's things you need to fix. And so we're just like, you know what, we need to find a way to bring people back in a very smooth way. And so we actually just created this welcome back booster. So if as an internal player, you can come into the game, you go talk to this one vendor, and you become level 50, which is basically the max level without the expansion. You pick a build, and so you tell what, like, I want to be a Whirlwind Barbarian. It gives you a bunch of equipment that supports Whirlwind Barbarian.
Yeah.
And it gives you a bunch of renown. Like it claims all of the Lilith altars, and it gives you a bunch of currency for masterworking and tempering. And so it's just like this great, like before when you come in, you're like, okay, I'd love to fire up Diablo 4 again. Oh, I guess I got to take 30 minutes or an hour to clean
a little
up.
overwhelming.
Yeah, and you gotta empty my inventory, junk everything, find new skills, make my build again. And now you can just go in and go click and go duk duk duk, and then you're like, oh, I'm back in 5 minutes, and now I can. Yeah, I still have to get rid of some stuff, but I have a playable, viable build that is immediately progressing in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I'm hopeful that some people who maybe played the main campaign and said like, I don't want to reset in the season, can come back and check out, because Loot 2.0 and Progression 2.0 and all the stuff we've taken like Helltide into Eternal and everything, Diablo 4 is a much different game than it launched 18 months ago, and it's a great time to jump in.
Yeah, those boosters, it reminds me of like World of Warcraft or Hearthstone, just like coming back and making it as
I'd be lying.
easy as possible to re-onboard, I guess.
Totally. No, I mean, they're like a sister team. I'd be lying if I didn't say like someone at some point going like, well, you know that what WoW does, right? And you're like, yeah, that'd be a cool idea. We should do something like that. So, yeah.
How has something like a battle pass and just like the state of modern gaming with seasons and battle passes and all that, how has that affected the Diablo franchise? Or how has that impacted it at all?
I mean, it's just part of the way you think about what does it mean to be kind of a live service in a way. It's kind of the things I like to say to the team is that, an ARPG is a tough one for me, because right now almost any game is called an ARPG. And so I'd like to, the way that we say things are Souls-like or roguelike, I kind of want to call our game a Diablo-like. Right, like because it's like I think there's a difference between an ARPG necessarily and the sort of isometric sort of Diablo-like game. But with a Diablo-like game, like you're going to have that forever game whether you want it or not, in a way, right? Like, and so the game is going to live beyond your rolling credits. And so the question is like, what do you do with that? And so so the notion of seasons being like, hey, what you love is progression. Let's give you a fresh way to start progression. And then you go like, well, how can we make that more interesting and novel? Then you go like, oh, let's do borrowed power and all those sorts of things. Then you go like, well, I mean, a great way to do progression as well, as we all know, Battle Pass can drive progression and engagement, but it can also help with like, hey, in order to have, a vampire season and a malignant season and whatever, like I have to have a bunch of people, making the seasons interesting and novel. And that's part of what Battle Pass allows for as well. But it's also a cool
I love the perspective
way to like just have people engaged and going after sort of things they can unlock for free. Because like, I think it's like a third of our battle pass is essentially free, that you can get cool gear.
The
and
pirate stuff is awesome.
Yeah. So, oh yeah.
I really like the portal, the town portal pirate one
Right.
with like the skeletons and the gold. I love that one. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, there's some cool stuff in there for sure.
Almost done here. Is there anything that you weren't able to do that you wanted to do? Anything left on the cutting room floor that you can talk about?
Oh, those generally don't go well as conversations, because then everybody goes like, well, that's the thing I really wanted the most.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I think the thing that, what you have to think about is like, we're supporting Diablo for years to come. And that's the thing I like about a live game is that, when I worked on previous titles, if you're shipping what we call a box product, like this is a like roll of credits and done kind of game, when you're making sort of trade-offs or what we call triage, and you're saying like, okay, this is going to fit this, or this isn't going to be ready, you would have to be like, prior because you're like, this is never coming back. We're cutting it from the game and it's never coming back. And the nice thing is, we have stuff that like we go, oh, it's not going to fit in the box initially, but we have seasons and we can bring it back. I think our big one I'm really most excited about, I don't even know if it's out yet. This is the funny thing. So Nick is cringing now, which I love, which is my PR guy who's listening. But like when I review all the blogs and stuff, and so once you review all the blogs, it kind of feels like we told everybody, even though the blog hasn't been published yet. Because I'm like, we're going to say it at some point. So like, is now the time I get to say it or not? But so anyway, to make Nick's jobs harder, like what I love is what we're bringing in is we're bringing the armory in season 7. And so that's something that players have really wanted, this ability to have a class where they can go and say, hey, I took my necromancer to max level, and I love that it's a minion necromancer, but I really want to do a blood necromancer. And in some cases, I know I have done it. I've rolled a new necromancer and leveled it all the way to max as well. So I had 2 necromancers. But now with the armory, you can actually store off your gear and your skill tree and all that stuff so that you can swap builds with the character you have. And so bringing the armory, it's a highly requested feature. And it's something that we really worked hard to try to bring it as soon as we could. And season 7 is that season. So I'm really looking forward to bringing the armory to the players. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so overwhelmed with like respecing and I just like won't, because I'm just like, I don't want to like mess with 40 or 50 skill points. I'm just gonna keep going with it. But yeah, if you're able to just like quickly swap out those loadouts, if you will, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, especially for me, because like I like pretty much every season I start with a homebrew. Like I start with like what inspires me. Like I still continue to this day to try to make a thorn necro a thing, like but there's no guide.
Thorn's so cool. I love Thorn.
Nobody's made a thorn necro guide, so it's not like there's some repository of knowledge where I can go and so when I make my thorn necro and I try it out and I'm like, yeah, it's doing pretty well, then they go like, oh, but the S tier this season is the blood necro, and I'm like, I'd like to at least feel what that feels like, but then I'm like, oh, but I like, do I take pictures of my Paragon tree on my TV so I don't forget my homebrew?
Yep.
And so the notion of being able to put that in the armory and go like, okay, necro thorns, you're in the armory, now I'll go try the blood, and okay, you're in the armory, let me go try bone or whatever. Like I just love that flexibility that we're bringing in season 7.
That's so great. Lastly, I mean, I was going to ask for any teases of the future, but you beat me to it with the armory. It's so awesome. And what is your goal now? We have Diablo IV the base. We have a nice expansion here. We're really in the thick of Diablo IV. What is the next step? What do you want?
I mean, I just want to keep people playing and keep bringing in more people. That's one of the things. The other nomination we got was around innovation and accessibility, and I always think of accessibility as it's a journey, not a destination. I don't think anybody ever in the history of time has ever gone, well, that's enough accessibility, we're done. Like, and totally. So the notion that we continue, pretty much every season, we try to find ways to continue to build upon what we have is something I'm excited about, because it opens up the game for more people. I think we went, when we launched, after, I don't know, 6 or 9 months after launch, I don't think anybody had completed the game who was sightless independently. They had like somebody coaching them or telling them certain things. But now there's been like, I think somewhere in the area of 28 to 30 blind players have been able to
amazing.
complete Diablo, and because of the tools we've added in for them.
Yeah.
And what you tend to find, it's the old story, is like when you add something in for accessibility, it actually helps more than just the people you were designing for. It's like subtitles. Like I'm sure when they designed subtitles for people who had a hearing disability, they weren't thinking about a bunch of people in the gym on treadmills, watching the news, right? And so this notion of this like design for one and expand to many is a big thing. And I think every time we do something to improve our accessibility, I think of it beyond, I'm grateful we're able to help the person it's targeted for, but I kind of feel like I know that we're going beyond that. Even to my example is we added an ability to put a shader on your character to separate it from the background. And there are oftentimes I'll be like, I put that shader on so I can see my character amongst all those demons.
All the exploding demons.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's a great, it makes the experience better for me, but it wasn't designed for me, and so that's what I think is really cool.
That is very, very awesome. What a great way to end it on that note. I love that. Rod, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Seriously, I know you got a lot going on. You're super busy, so thank you so much for joining. We are Easy Allies. Thanks so much for watching. Diablo IV, Vessel of Hatred. Go play it!
Take care.
All right, we're back. Thank you to both of you for handling that earlier today.
Woo.
And thanks to Rod for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
All right, here it's time to talk some games.
Let's do it.
You have been playing Stalker 2. I've been playing Stalker 2. I've never played the original Stalkers.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Let's see what you're thinking so far.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure which one of us is farther, to be honest. Also, your footage, like you were talking about how dark it was.
Yeah.
Your footage seems crazy dark.
I know. I don't know what the hell is going on.
There's a setting that is
dude, I was
Xbox
messing.
that you have to change. But
I was messing with everything, dude. I was messing with.
settings.
I was messing with a lot of settings, dude. I tried it on multiple monitors. Like,
okay.
I don't know what's going on with my Stalker, but that is a good segue into this.
Did you set your
Because
HDMI too low or HDR too low?
no,
Weird.
The
messed
Huber
with it.
Special Edition. They knew it was going to have a Huber filter.
You're like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what was up. It did not look correct. So maybe that's a bug because this game is really buggy right
could
now.
be, HDR bug.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Stalker 2 is messy. Stalker 2 asks so much of you as a player. Like, you have to work in this game to find the fun, to progress, to figure things out. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like cryptic. It's not like, you know where to go and what to do, but the game is very challenging even on normal. Like, you find enemies and you just like die.
Yeah,
It
if you're
doesn't
getting
always
shot at,
feel-
you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
Probably, yeah.
And that's the problem. Blood, I feel like I'm not in control a lot of the time when I'm playing this game.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I'm just like hoping for the best when I get into a shootout. Like, I want to be able to like duck and cover and like take someone out, but it just feels a little
Yeah, I
clunky.
definitely saw somebody saying that was a little bit more technically minded and that the controller implementation feels like somebody that only ever plays a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
So-
definitely a
Yikes.
keyboard and mouse game, most likely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm playing on controller, but even like like I was saying last night, like even some of the UI stuff with the controller is a little weird. Where it's like I couldn't move items into my stash. Like I could move my guns into my stash, but I couldn't move my like extra ammo and health packs and stuff in my stash. I'm
Yeah.
like, what's the deal? But then I picked up the mouse and it just went over, and I'm like, so why can I not do this on a controller, but I can do it with the mouse?
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird little things
hate
like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Obviously dealing with a pandemic and an invasion.
Right.
Obviously you give them a
Yeah,
lot
like
of
massive shout outs to the
Exactly.
devs.
massive
For
shout outs,
real.
massive leeway when it comes to all this stuff. Like it's not even a problem. I'm just saying like, it's janky. It's janky for sure.
Yeah.
But-
to kind of give some context for what's on screen and what you are. It's a sort of funny intro because essentially feels like a meteorite smashes into this guy's house. It's an artifact from the zone. And I don't really have a clear picture of like what his backstory is because it doesn't seem like he's ever been to the zone before.
It'll get
but he
into it, I
knows a
feel like
lot
it's-
about it, right? He knows about the artifacts and stuff. And so his apartment has basically been destroyed.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I'm gonna at least like take this stupid rock that smashed my apartment and and charge it up and sell it so I can go live somewhere else. And so that's the idea. Like you get driven up to the walls with this guy that's got a scanner, and I guess you stick the rock into the scanner, and you go to these different points where anomaly things are, and it's gonna recharge the artifact because it's like one of your equipable things. It's like you can equip this thing. And it will make you, buff up this thing, but maybe it will give you more radiation. Or, everything has like a
Pros and cons,
pros and cons to it.
For sure.
So it's like, but it seems like this is a special one of those, and we don't know a lot about it. And yeah, like it's the zone. You get double crossed. You get left with all your stuff taken away from you.
Yeah.
And then you got to
Trust no one. Fox Mulder.
Find this guy and get your rock back. And that's it, and now you're wandering around trying to figure out how the zone works and all the different factions, and I liken it really to Fallout a lot because I think that it's in a lot of ways it's like Fallout but without the RPG stats.
Look at this freaking thing.
Yeah,
no. That I was talking to Blood about this offline for like 1 minute because we like to save the conversation for the podcast, but 85% of me loves that there's no like RPG mechanics and all that to like not bog it down, but like that's a different focus, So I like that it's just all in on the story and the supplies. Like that is how you level up. You find med kits. Like finding med kits is I found those. Like that's almost better than a level up.
And it's interesting how like they have like different nuances of things and like and that's like a lot of it. It's just like this learning curve of like figuring out all of these different systems because it's like, okay, like you have hunger, and I'm not even 100% sure what hunger does, right?
You take more damage.
You take more damage when you're hungry?
Yeah, and I think you aim a little worse.
Got it.
Yeah.
You have a stamina meter, so if you're running for too long, you're gonna have to stop running it. But
radiation meter as well.
There are energy drinks to refill your stamina meter on the fly. There is vodka.
Hell yeah.
To get rid of radiation.
Yeah.
There are also like legit radiation
Radaway and shit.
Things, and then with health, you have a med kit to refill your health, but then you also have bandages that take a little bit longer to stop you from bleeding.
So it does
I've bled out so many times.
But that's the thing, it has those survival mechanics, right? That you would see in like Don't Starve or some shit. Like
you just ran straight into that.
I know. Dude, I die a lot in this game. It's kind of a thing. There's all those survival mechanics, but they're not overwhelming. I think for how complex the game is, the survival stuff at least is like pretty chill to get a handle on. It's just like, okay, eat some food.
Yeah.
Eat some things to get rid of the radiation, like you're good.
But like a Bethesda game, you can pick up tons of sausage. And stuff and be over encumbered with sausages, and you just find a room to throw them all in. There is a chest that's right like in the main town right now, at least. The zone that we're in, the space that we're in right now, is like a very small part of the map. But there is a town that you just keep coming back to. So far, there's no fast travel.
No fast travel so far.
Yeah, and then there's a chest in there where you can put some goodies. That's what I was talking about, dragging some stuff in there.
Yeah, that's.
But then also with the guns, it's like there's crazy durability on the guns.
Yeah.
So your gun starts getting like into the yellow zone and the red zone, and when the gun is red, they won't even buy it from you.
Yeah.
You've got to repair it to even sell it, and then it's not worth the money.
Yep.
So that's the other thing you got to think about in terms of trade-offs, because it's like, okay,
economy.
I could just keep picking up guns from other guys that I shoot down.
But usually they're red or yellow.
But then usually they're yellow or red or yellow. But then if I start upgrading a gun, well, now I'm invested in this gun, right? Because it's like, okay, I've put money into this. I need to keep it up to date. I need to keep it repaired.
Yeah.
One thing that I found with the upgrade system that kind of like confused me at first. I was telling Huber about this yesterday too. I got enough cash for a hollow sight, and I went to put it on the gun, and like it said it was fit this kind of gun, and like it's not doing anything. How do I put it on? And then like I realized, I have to go to the guy next door at the gun workshop.
Yeah.
And I have to have him put a rail on the gun, so now I can actually equip the sight. So there's lots of little things like that. There's like multiple bullets that will fit a certain gun, different bullet types.
Of course, yeah.
With just like very small little things to differentiate between them. And I was like, it says I have like 96 bullets, but in my clip it only says like 14. Like, what's going on? It's like, I have to change bullet types.
Yeah.
Same thing with the firing mode, like single shot or semi-auto or auto.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those things, they don't really like give you great instructions for up front.
Yeah.
And you kind of just have to poke around and figure out on your own.
Totally. And I think I love this world and story. I really like the characters so far. They feel like real people.
Mm-hmm.
But geez, this game is just dreary. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Just the look of it, the story and tone and vibe, and just like walking through the wasteland vibe. You know, it is not a feel good game.
Digging around through ruined houses. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that also contributes to asking a lot of the player is to put up with those oppressive vibes of the game. So yeah, you gotta put a lot into Stalker 2 for sure.
Those freaking mutants. Well, you have the
so
clip
brutal.
in there with the dogs. Like, you know what I did to like figure out the dogs? I'll jump on something.
Oh yeah, like a box or
they
something.
They can't really get up to you, so I'm like, I'll jump on top of something and try to shoot it from there.
Smart.
But even then, when you do that, then the AI gets kind of like weirded out, and like it's just starting to like run around on the edges.
Yeah.
And so I have to like then hop down, so then they run at me, so then I can shoot at them while they're running at me, then hop back up on a thing.
Yeah, it's just like hard to.
Yeah.
It's weirdly hard to shoot things. And I don't know if that's like because I have shit gear and I'm playing with controller and maybe I'm not that great, but
or it's more mouse and keyboard and doesn't have those kind of like little soft auto focus on things a little bit.
Because it's like so many times I want to do something, and then that's what I mean about like not being in control. It's like I want to do the thing, and it's like the game is like kind of
it also doesn't have like the pull up to clamber onto rooftops and things like that. And so that's another thing where it's like sometimes like some of these stashes that they tell you about, they're in these like tricky places because like you'll see them on like your little compass.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, where is it? And then I realize like, oh, there's an attic. I have to get up to the attic.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, how the heck do I get up to the attic? There's like not like a path.
Yeah.
And so like, because I can't pull myself up to things.
Yeah.
I had to like jump on a fence post, then jump onto like the tiny little fence.
It's like so 2000s in the best way.
Right. And then jump on the roof and then run across to jump onto this truck.
Yeah.
And then there is like a platform that like I could drop down onto from the roof.
That's so funny.
And get into the attic.
The side quests?
Yeah.
The side quests are cool. I feel like it's tough, right? When I do a side quest in an open world game, I want that XP, you know? Give me that XP dopamine. Like this, obviously you don't have XP, but you do get some meaningful supplies. But I'm impressed with the stories of them so far. Like this one we're seeing right here is really fun.
Yeah, this is really cool, yeah.
This one's fun because you are looking for a guy that owes someone money.
Yeah, he owes the bartender money.
The bartender's like, yo, you go get my money back, 20% is yours. So when you show up, other people are there trying to collect money that he owes them. So then they're like, yo, we were here first, like we get first dibs, blah, blah, and like you can choose how to play it.
Yeah.
And I chose to obviously kill those guys, like climb up.
Yeah,
because
they get you to talk to him, right? Because it's like, okay, well you're not on that guy's bad side, so maybe he'll listen to you, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, go get my stash. It's on top of the water tower. When you get it, you'll know what to do. And you pick it up, and it's basically the first gun that you get with a scope. And like, oh, okay, you want me to shoot these guys?
Yeah.
But you can choose how to go about that, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of these situations
Dialogue choices and stuff.
where it's not even just dialogue choices, where it's like, if you are trigger happy, you're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a hard time in this game. This is
Because
not
there
Call
are
of
times
Duty,
where the guy's out there shooting mutants or something, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh crap, there's guys shooting at me. And it's like, no, they're not shooting at you. Hold
Stealth
your
first.
fire.
This is a stealth game in my
Hold
opinion.
up.
Yeah.
Put your gun away, because there's
Avoid conflict.
There's another guy that's up in the mill,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got the whole thing booby trapped.
Yeah, dude.
You walk in there, if you set
blew
off
up.
a boob,
I
yeah, if
blew
you
up.
set off a booby trap, it's gonna blow you up. But then he's also gonna think you're
Alert.
coming for him
Yeah, I
and
love
start shooting at you.
sneaking up on him. is
But if you
sick.
sneak through, you disarm every one of those booby traps, and you come up to him unarmed.
Yeah. That's big too. Put your gun
Then
away.
you can talk to him,
Yeah.
and figure out what you want to do with him from that point.
So it does have a nice balance of a Fallout versus a Deus Ex, like immersive sim, RPG vibes. Like we said, there's no XP, but it definitely like scratches some of those itches for sure. And the amount of freedom too you have. I mean, you come to this town and it's like, all right, here's your main mission. Here's a bunch of side missions. Like,
Yeah.
go.
I wasn't gonna go on the dog shooting mission though. I was like, I don't need the dog shooting mission. It's okay.
Well, I got roped into it because you asked the guy and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, all right, I'm
Wait.
like, all right, I'm down for some like company.
Like the leftovers?
Oh my God, yeah, leftovers.
Is
nod
it
for
just like that
sure.
part, like where the guy asks you
Like,
to do
let's
do
go.
that?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yep. Yeah. Leftovers nod for sure.
But one more cool quest I did, because I don't know if you got to it yet, but it's called the Lost Boys. Did you do this one yet?
I don't know.
So basically, the repair guy, the gun
Yeah.
upgrade guy, he is like, there's this group of guys that went out to explore this stash, and like I told them not to be a bad idea or whatever, but I haven't heard back from them. So go see how they're doing, see what's up.
Yeah.
So you get into this place, and like it's a freaking like horror show, dude. There's like a guy that's like pinned to the wall with like
this is some
rebar
like
sticking out of
Walking
his
Dead
back.
sanctuary shit.
And there's
Okay.
like, and there's just these anomaly things that
Terminus.
are all over in the game. So they're kind of like these like weird like elemental spots where like fire will be puffing out of the ground, or like whirlwinds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's this huge anomaly in the center of the room, but then there's just like bodies and stuff, and then you see like a body of like some monster too.
Sick.
And there's this PDA that's like, this freaking monolithian, like he took Mastiff. They, he's gonna go turn him into a zombie or whatever. You got to go help Mastiff, right? From one of these guys that got killed. And I go find this guy, and Mastiff is like in this bloody bed. He's like recovering or whatever, but he's like upstairs, and there's this guy like doing these weird prayers and stuff, right?
Yeah, some
and
cult
you're
shit.
talking to him, and he's like, no, like I saved him, like I'm healing him, like he was gonna die, and I brought him back here to help him.
Yo, misery, dude.
And while you're talking to
Kathy
him,
Bates.
again, there's like this group of dudes that comes up. They also got the text from the guy with the PDA, and they're like, hey, we're here to like take out this monolithian and save Mastiff. And so you got to then decide, are you going to side with the guy in the attic? Did he bring him to heal him and help him? Or is he...
Let me talk to the guy in the bed. What does he want to do?
But that's the thing. He's out of it.
He's just
all
like,
he can say is like, oh, there's a guy upstairs. The guy's upstairs. And so you can go out and talk to these guys and try to reason with them, or try to shoot them down, or like, but you got to pick a side.
Crazy.
And you're the newbie. Like maybe there's something about monolithians that people that played the first Stalker know about.
Yeah.
But you got to make that choice and then live. That's the thing. I think this is a quest that's like setting up for something further down the road.
Line for sure.
So what choice you make might make a difference later on.
Yeah. Save any time, which is nice. You'll be doing that a lot.
You can save any
'cause
time,
this
but
game's
I will
hard,
say
chat.
that the auto saves are not as frequent as you might like.
Yeah.
So make sure to
Quick
save
save,
once in a
quick
while.
save,
Yeah.
for
Or
sure.
pay attention. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it needs a little more time.
Yeah. It needs some polish.
I feel like it needs like
I posted the bread armor.
the bread. Yeah.
So that first quest that we were talking about with the bandits, one of the items I got off of them looked like just a big piece of bread.
Yeah.
But then I look at it and it's got stats. I'm like, oh, this is like a
Armor,
jacket.
dude, it's so
It
funny.
just looks like a picture of bread, but then also like the item name isn't like a real item name. It's like a placeholder thing with like a bunch of
underscore.
underscores.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny.
So I was
Concord had
I
that.
was rocking bread armor for a while.
Bread armor. That's so funny.
Also, the guy that was in the bed, he started like floating above the bed, and
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
"Is this a glitch or is this?"
And these guys
clue?
not knowing two other guys just got taken out. They're just like
Oh, I
standing
didn't have
there.
that issue. They started
Yeah.
coming at me right away.
So yeah, just some. It needs a few more months. I feel like this game is worth it if you can handle it. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
love games like this, but again, because you need to work so hard, you throw bugs and glitches and just like overall a little bit of jankiness on top of a game that already asks so much of you. It's a tough sell at the moment. With so many other, finely polished games out there right now, I would just give it a little more time in the oven and maybe circle back like when there's a nice sale on. I'm sure it's on Game Pass maybe or...
Right. I think it might be on Game Pass,
Yeah.
but I don't remember 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, on PC at least, like people
Yeah.
are already doing mods and stuff to like
Yeah.
help performance.
Hey,
and all that.
even The Witcher 3 had a rocky 1
How,
month.
on Xbox,
1 month.
how was? Did you notice like the performance dip when you walked into town?
Not too bad actually. Like
Okay,
like
for me it was like extreme. Like
frame rates are fine, which is like one of the most important things. But it is just a bit rough around the edges for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing on performance mode on a Series X in this footage,
Got it.
everybody, just so you know.
Got it.
Yeah, clearly something is wrong with my settings. Like something is wrong.
The
dude.
darkness
It's
thing on
so
your
dark.
footage is definitely
insane,
noticeable.
yeah.
Compared to mine.
I was like, what is going on here? Something is not right.
yeah, like even your HUD is.
But
dark.
it was only this game. Like
right.
I booted up Hellblade just to make sure, and it looked fine.
Okay.
Like I legit have Hellblade still
So
installed.
there definitely could be some kind of weird color space glitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Cool game though.
Anyways, Cool.
Cool characters, chat. Like characters that just roll up on you and like tell you things, and you're like, whoa, who are you? Do I trust you? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. Here it is, Stalker 2. I'm glad it's finally out. Like, shout out to the devs for being able to get this game out at all. Like, that is a win. That is crazy.
Next up, I got to play the first couple of hours of Avowed. And yeah, I like get a freeze frame on my character here so that while I talk about the character creator.
You'll see the Windows UI. Is that okay?
I guess.
This is you?
That's my character,
This character's awesome.
But yeah, so I played a little bit of it around Gamescom, but now that they let us like download it and just
Yeah.
tool around with it and play right from the beginning. So what your character is, and this is from Obsidian, classic first-person RPG, lots of dialogue options,
I
and
saw pictures of third person today.
I think it's in there as like an accessibility option. Yeah,
Cool. Damiani.
yeah. But you play as what in the world is known as a godlike. And so, like, you were touched in the womb by one of the gods.
Whoa.
You actually don't know which god.
Whoa, dude.
And so that's why you have, like, the fungal growths on your face, Huber.
Oh, I thought that was like a armor set.
No. So, like...
That's fungal growth on your face?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Last of Us. Yikes.
Yeah, so they have a
doesn't like
lot...
that.
So I couldn't capture the character creator or the prologue.
Okay.
So that's why I've had Isla put this up so you could at least see what my character looks like.
Yeah.
So in addition to all of the hairstyles and stuff like that, you also pick your fungal growths.
Fungal growth.
So you have one for your face and one for your head.
Dude.
And so yeah, so some of them would just be like little eyebrow accent kind of things.
Can you put spores on your head?
Some of them would fully cover
Spores, molds, and
your
fungus.
eyes.
Yeah. I want to be a
love it.
clicker.
Yeah,
I-
you can make one that looks a lot like a clicker. Huber.
Awesome. Yes.
And then the horns are kind of like part of my deal. My main issue with this, is I don't feel like this character customization has as many options as like Dragon Age and some of these others.
Did they say that add more? Is this like the building blocks?
It I don't know for sure. But the main issue I had with the fungal thing plus the hair is that the hair really didn't seem to account for some of the fungal growths. And so like you'd have a swoop that was just like the hair was like swooping through some like solid object or something like that.
No clipping allowed. I'm out.
Yeah.
You
So
got to change it up.
sometimes.
Yeah, you got to change it up though. You got to do the ones with no clipping.
yeah. So I basically like that's why I went with this kind of like this big froze because like actually felt like it blends in pretty well
He looks awesome.
with the stuff I picked.
Yeah.
There's a real like depth to his gaze right now.
Yeah. Like
He looks emotionally tortured.
yes, dude.
And you're like
Feeling his age.
Yeah.
Punished.
Yeah.
You're an envoy from this emperor or whatever to the living lands, which is kind of like Wild West.
The Undying Lands in Lord of the Rings?
I don't know. I don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Because there's like a plague called the Dream Scourge, and so you're here to try to investigate this plague and you know put it to bed or whatever, and then you get shipwrecked, and so your
Classic.
your first little prologue tutorial mission is. You know, you wake up on the beach.
How many RPGs do you wake up on a beach?
the little blue guy
Dude,
there.
like so many.
And yeah, you just kind of like work your way through the fort and like try to find a way to get to the mainland, to get to where you're supposed to be, to Dawn Shore.
Dry land.
And even
Dry
there,
land.
Huber, kind of like what's funny is like there's so many like
that
little
Waterworld?
parallels
Yeah, Waterworld.
between Stalker and this.
It's funny.
Because like there's this in the fort.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people have been killed off by bandits or whoever, right? But there is this woman in the jail cell, and she's like, "I can help you. I've got a boat." You know, like she's been put in there for smuggling or something. And it's like, okay, do you trust her to and find a key and let her out of the jail cell to go alongside of you and show her your boat, or do you just go find her boat and leave her there to rot? So I was like, you get to choose.
That's intense. I would need to look into her eyes
Right.
to know.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and start playing now. So the part where I can actually show starts like after I've landed on shore, and this is a side quest here, and it's interesting because like I found this lady in town who was like, oh, these monsters, these Zorps have taken over my house, and like my house is infested with these monsters, and so you go up to her house here, and here I'm eating some food, healing up, and yeah, here's her house, and you get in there and clear these guys out. But then, and then, yeah, so the combat system, you can direct your companion. My companion's Kai here. But it's like, they call it like a classless
Cobra Kai.
combat system. So like right now I'm holding a spell book and like a dagger.
Yeah.
But I can quickly swap to a different loadout. So I can have this on one loadout and then swap to like sword and board. There are like two-handed axes. There are like freaking rifles and pistols and big old hammers. There's a wand. But with this little side quest here, I found out that she was having these weird dreams
Uh-oh.
about the creatures. And then there was like this painting on the wall
She got sucked in.
of like her with the creatures or whatever. And yeah, and so
characters
so
are
here
awesome.
that's your companion Kai, and so you can kind of get a little bit of sense of the dialogue tree. And one of the things that this kind of like one of the things it does kind of in hindsight criticism of Dragon Age is a lot of people have said like in Dragon Age like a lot of your responses can just be like basically too friendly, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're always sort of in agreement with people. You don't really get to rub people the wrong way. It's like, and this is like, it's like, no, you can be totally on this guy's side, or you can be just like, no, screw you, dude. And then here is some more combat out here with the shield, and yeah, there's like a charge that you can do with your main weapon. You can do a little bit of parry and stuff like that. You get different abilities that are on cooldown, but those things are not really. That's where the kind of the classless combat system comes down to, because it's like you have little tabs for things that are like sort of related to like fighter or wizard or whatever, but you can put like skills into any of them at any time.
Got it.
It's like you can cross these things as much as you like.
Dude, opening up with some burn is always a good strat.
Yeah, like here's some of the character stuff, like dropping in some skill points and then doing some abilities and things like that.
Nice.
And
yeah,
then,
it looks good. I like this UI. It looks very clean.
yeah,
Very easy to understand the levels and the abilities and the ranks of each. Like, I really like what I'm looking at here.
nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think about like what else. Oh yeah, so there's like a godlike tab. So there's certain abilities that so far those seem to only come from
Like story beats.
story beats. Like if you do a certain quest, if you side with a certain person or faction, then maybe you'll get like a godlike ability.
Nice.
And then you can also like put points into unlocking your companion abilities.
Very
so like, and then here's the Zorip. Okay, so
Cool.
this guy was like just hanging around her house, but he wasn't aggro. And so you can go up and you can actually talk to this guy.
Might 2 out of 2. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. Is like based on your
Yes.
skill points, you get different dialogue
I
options.
love when dialogue options open up based on skill points. It's
Based
so
on your,
satisfying.
Yeah, based on your character creator, you have
Yep.
other options. Like I think I went with like a scout as my part of my backstory, and then
So
this is
satisfying.
the girl that sent you out there. But
Like, getting those always feels special.
one of the things that I appreciate again about this dialogue stuff and the amount of choice that you have is that I feel like with a lot of these games, even with Outer Worlds, that when you do these dialogues, when there is a special dialogue right like that that's tied to your class or whatever,
Yeah.
that like you almost feel like I have to go with
Yeah,
that. Like that's the
true,
best option.
true.
And I don't feel that way with these. There's a
Good.
lot of times that I will actually like skip some of those
Great.
dialogue choices because I've got enough range where it's like, actually, let me take a different approach with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is camp. So when you find those big crystals, you can make camp, and then you can chat with your party. Yeah. So here's the thing. This is a freaking rifle I
That's
found.
a musket,
Huber.
dude.
It's a full-on like
What?
sniper rifle.
Dude.
There's like the little you can see from a distance that there's
Just-
like a little diamond like weak point, and if you hit them right in the weak point, that'll be a crit.
Wow.
And same thing with the bow. If you hit him in the weak point,
Nice hit, dude.
and it's just such a crazy thing that like you're not really expecting out of this game.
Yeah.
Stealth attacks,
Nice,
too. So if you
key.
come up behind him, watch this, dude.
Oh,
like
so key.
you have this like plasma blade.
Yeah, what is this
Whoa.
Halo shit?
You like it's part of your godlike abilities. It's crazy. And then the way the magic works is kind of different because so the wand is a fully separate weapon. You can have
Yeah.
that magic book sitting out there, and you can have a spear, or you can have a axe, or whatever. The wand is just like kind of like a medium range kind of attack. Same thing with the pistol. But with the book, when you have that out, you can hold the left trigger and then hit one of the face buttons for the different spells.
Got it.
And there are different kinds of spell books
Dude,
too.
spear hype.
So the spell book that I was using the most had like a fire spell, a lightning spell, and an ice spell. But then there was another one that was like a little bit more focused on like defensive abilities and buffs and things like that. And that's just something you just stick it in your left hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, you can hit the Y button to swap between loadouts. The spear, when I got the spear,
Spear
was
looks sick.
freaking great.
Looks really
Yeah.
fun.
Yo,
Winged
this
spear.
looks much improved, I feel like, from last time they showed it.
Looks really fun.
Like, I don't remember specifically why, but I remember last time we saw it that we were kind of iffy on the combat. But it's looking a lot more impactful and weighty in this now.
Yeah, it definitely takes some time for me to get comfortable with it. But
Oh shit.
yeah, and then this is the boss.
Yo, dude. Days
This
Gone over
infected
here.
bear.
Days Gone hype.
And it definitely took me out once.
Sick. Dream Thrall Elder Brown Bear.
Yeah, and
This
so
is like the Annihilation movie bear. Remember that?
Yes.
oh yeah, you have grenades too, Huber. Like
Grenades and
the,
firearms.
The mix of stuff that they've got in here. But yeah, so you can have your companion, like Kai. The things I had, like I had a shot, like he's got a gun as well that he could throw. He's got like a stomp, like fly in and like do like a little area of effect attack.
Yo, this thing's got the health, blood.
Yeah, it does. And he's got
Good parry, dude. Just smacking the bear's head with a shield. That was
yeah,
sick.
but that's the thing I had to unlock. I had
That was
to unlock that
cool.
shield bash.
That looked cool. That looked satisfying.
And then he's also got a flame spell, so you can burn through different areas to access different points.
Can you use this spear two-handed, and will it do more damage if you do so?
No, there are certain two-handed weapons, but so far I've only
Got it.
they're only two-handed.
Okay.
So I saw like a great sword, saw like a great
it's-
axe, and I
that's
saw
a
like a big
specific
big
type,
hammer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
But if you saw that thing where it's kind of like slow down and you did that kind of like kick, that's based on the yellow bar, which is kind of like a stagger bar.
Yeah.
So when you get that all the way up, that's when you can kind of do that big kind of like critical move
Yeah.
on an enemy. And with the general, like most enemies, it's going to take them out. With the boss, obviously, you've got to get that happening a couple of times. But you know, I've got him on fire, I've got him on lightning, I've got him poisoned. Just like trying everything.
All the dots, more dots,
My
Damiani.
companion's down right now, so now I'm like really like in the weeds because there's no one to take aggro.
All the dots.
But eventually, there we go. We finally get a chance.
Yeah, you're getting
he's
close.
staggered, and there it is, killing blow.
Boom. That looks like a cool fight, blood.
Yeah. And so what had happened was, so you were here to like sync up with the ambassador,
Whoa.
and the ambassador and the claviger or whatever, who's like the mayor of the town, had wandered off to go investigate this infection, this what they call the tangle root out in the woods. And when you catch up to him, the claviger's been killed by the bear, and the ambassador's barely holding on. And then you kill the bear, and then you've been hearing this voice in your head, and then you talk to the voice, and you kind of decide whether or not to side with it. I decided to side with it, and it healed the tangle root and gave me a healing spell that will
Nice.
allow me to heal my companion. But is it a good idea? Should I trust this mystical weird voice? I don't know.
Geralt would,
So
be the one to ask about that.
So that's the thing, So you're back in the weeds again, like Stalker,
Yeah.
where it's like, don't know if I should trust you or not, kind of situations, and like really having the options to let me try to talk it out, or it's like, no, I'm just gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And this is the upgrade menu, so that's another thing you can do in camp. There's little upgrade benches and stuff where if you have resources, you can give your tools some perks. You can also cook different recipes and stuff. So cooking food will be better than just eating it raw, of course.
Nice.
So then after I had rescued the ambassador, then you can go into the main city because of the plague. They're kind of on lockdown. So like you need permission to enter. But then there were still some like just some jerks.
Yeah.
Just some jerks that were like out front, like
Classic bandits.
quote unquote guarding the bridge into town, and they're like,
Pay up.
you're an outsider. You got all this stuff growing on your face. How do we know you're not infected? Da 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 da. And like I tried to talk it out with them, and they're like,
No.
nope. So I guess we're just killing you.
Fight to the death.
I feel like, and you can tell me if this is wrong because you've played it, but like from looking at this footage and the UI and all this stuff. Oh, excuse me, I suddenly had to sneeze. I get like kind of like classic, almost kind of dungeon crawlery vibes from this. Like I don't know if it's the FOV or where the hands are or the UI or what.
Right.
But I don't know. This feels like kind of like a modernized kind of classic dungeon crawler thing to me. Am
Yeah, I
I
get that
crazy?
vibe. I get a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely when I did the Gamescom preview, that was a totally different area, and there's definitely like some of those elements. Like you can actually swim in this. Believe it or not, a video game lets you swim.
Yeah.
And so sometimes like you'll find like secret little spots just by like swimming and like finding a tunnel that's below the surface of the water. Similarly, there were some places where like I could like grab on and platform across spots to find like a treasure chest in an attic or something like that.
Fun.
So it does feel like it's doing a lot to really encourage exploration and some light platforming
We
stuff
love
there.
that. We love it.
And yeah, and the part that I played at Gamescom 2 was also like really. There was
There's
another.
a Gamescom 2.
It was another situation where it was like you had a lot of options with how to deal with that character. And when I talked to other people, like they did completely different things that I did. They had gone into a different part of the dungeon and found other stuff that
Cool.
happened that this guy did before they talked to him that I didn't find.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I get the sense there's going to be a lot of variance on different people's playthroughs, which I'm hyped about.
Looking promising, Blood.
Yeah. And again, there were just so many weapons in just like the first 3 hours. It's like,
Yeah.
here's a sword,
variety looked
here's a bow, here's an
Yeah.
axe, here's a gun,
Yeah.
one thing after another.
That's awesome.
So, and I like that they throw a lot of it at you at first so that like, let me figure out what I'm comfortable with
Smart.
before I really start investing.
Yeah. Good design. Good design.
Yeah.
I did see some third-person screenshots, Tamiana. You in if it's third?
Maybe.
Maybe. Circle back. Circle back.
Nice. I feel like I was maybe rambling on that one, but
No way.
there we go.
For a little preview action. So hype.
I-
Reminds me of
one thing
Dark
I will
Messiah
say-
of Might and Magic.
I will say, even though like they've got the Microsoft, parent company now, it still like feels a little bit on like that Obsidian level budget. Like there's still some things like your character just doesn't talk. Like you pick
Silent pro
an
tag.
option off of those dialogue trees, and that's it. Then the next person starts talking.
That's it.
So,
Which I kind of prefer.
yeah, I mean,
It's a choice. Yeah, you can.
It keeps you.
It
From
can be
having
more
that
immersive
disconnect
sometimes.
From where I thought I
Right.
said something that I didn't say, kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Baldur's Gate 3, it's like you read literally what you're going to say and then you say it. Like your character will still be like, these boots have seen everything or whatever, but like you don't have to sit and listen to them say something kind of different than what you thought they were going to say.
Yeah. So I like it so far. February 18th, it's coming out.
That's soon.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's just wild how many RPGs. It's like
Yeah.
when this preview came in, I got the code like on Monday and I had like 2 days to play it, and it was like, all right, I'm halfway through like 7 RPGs. Let's
Yeah.
hop into another.
Yep.
We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying this show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. Get in there, leave some comments and some reviews on the podcast services. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is on sale. It's available on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and Steam. Maybe you're looking for the next challenge. Maybe you've finished certain other difficult games or recent DLCs, and you're looking for something else that's tough but fair. Well, one of the things that SMT is known for is its challenging difficulty. You can utilize different strategies like party optimization, fusing demons to make even stronger demons, leveling up your skills, abilities, all kinds of stuff like that. I really dig SMT5. The setting and the vibes are through the roof. I love finding and catching or befriending or uneasy alliancing, I guess, the various freakos that you meet. SMT it's like the more serious big sibling of Persona. So if you like that kind of a thing and you want darker, more mature narratives filled with morally gray choices and heavy music, then Shin Megami Tensei is probably right up your alley. The game has received overwhelmingly positive reviews on all the platforms. So there's a demo right now for the game. Check out the demo.
It's on sale right now for Black Friday, up to 40% off.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. It's like a new and improved version of Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and Steam. Get it now.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. All right. Top 10 time.
Oh!
Woo!
Top 10 parties from our patrons in
Mario
the
Party.
official Discord
This is
server.
Mario Party. Jamboree's number one. It's the best Mario Party ever.
Yeah, so if you become a patron, you can get in on these top 10s every month in our Discord. The wording on the rules was, in this context, party means a group of at least 3 characters who act as the protagonists of the game and are controlled and or customized by the player.
So you have to control all of them.
I don't know if you have to control all of them individually, but you control them generally, I guess. Customize them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 8.
Dragon Quest 8. Let's see. We've got some Dragon Quest representation, but Dragon Quest 8 is 12th. Oh, wait, no. 12 votes, 15th.
How about the 108 stars of Suikoden and 1 or 2?
Yeah, there you go.
They're all in the party, baby.
Suikoden. Oh, no Suikoden.
Oh,
You bastards. Final Fantasy Tactics?
wait, Final Fantasy 7.
Tactics is 28th.
How many Final
All right.
Fantasies?
Yeah, where are
Yeah,
the,
how many
yeah.
Final Fantasies?
Just
My question is,
name
yeah,
all of
is it
them.
it's 7 or 10 get higher?
7 or 10
Which
it has to be in the
was
top 10. Is 9 in the top 10?
Let's see. There are 4 Final Fantasy games in the top 10.
There you go.
In the top 10,
In
40%.
the
Is it
top
6?
10.
What's the other one? 8?
So we have Final
7,
Fantasy
9,
10,
10.
Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 15, and then the top one is Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Yeah. That's the number 1 slot.
It's a very number 1.
15?
15.
Wait, which 4 was it again? 7, 15, 6, and what?
It's Final Fantasy 10 is at 8th place. Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 15 tied for 5th place. And then Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is at 1st.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 9 is at 12th. Final Fantasy 14 is at 24th. Final Fantasy 4 is at 28th, along with Final Fantasy Tactics. And that's all our Final Fantasies.
8 didn't get in there?
No 8.
I like 8.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hates 8.
Dude, 15 in there is fucking sick.
All right, where's Kingdom Hearts?
Because that is a party. Like, say what you will about 15,
Yeah,
dude. That road trip bond, man, that party, that vibe of them together. Well done.
So your other Dragon Quests, Huber. So we had
11.
8 was at 15th.
11's more people played.
5 was at 41.
Dude, 5.
And Dragon Quest 11 was at 8th place.
Yeah, 11, yes. So many more people have played 11.
Kingdom Hearts?
Any Dragon Quest.
Kingdom Hearts. We got Kingdom Hearts 2's made it to 4th place.
Ah,
Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, 15th place.
Hell yeah.
sure. Dude, chat says
Aqua.
Kudelka. If Kudelka's on the list,
No, I don't see it.
Okay, yeah.
KOU, right?
yeah.
Yeah. No
What
Kudelka.
about Tales of Symphonia?
Symphonia, 24th place.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Wonder if there are any other Tales,
What
if
was-
I can find that easily.
Yeah, were any other Tales games on the list or no?
No, only one.
All right.
Any others you want to look for?
What about some deep cuts like Wild Arms?
Well, hell yeah, Wild Arms,
is pretty
dude.
good, and
Yeah.
that's 43.
Hell yeah,
Wild
get
Arms
it.
3.
Get it?
I love Wild Arms.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm trying to think of like Mass Effect 2? Does that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great one. That's top 5.
I would put that in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is 3rd place.
Third
Hell yeah,
place.
baby.
Well done, Mass Effect 2.
Okay, okay,
Holy
okay.
Shit, 10
Mass
out of
Effect
10.
3 tied at 8th place.
10 out
Sure,
of 10,
sure.
dude. Cannot even handle how good Mass Effect 2 is. Ah.
Any more guesses? You ready for the rundown?
I always like to have one last guess here under the
Yeah.
wire.
I'm ready.
How about the Lost Odyssey? Lost Odyssey.
No Lost Odyssey.
No, couldn't tell you any of the characters.
Same. I just know it's
but
about
I
Mario.
remember that game's like.
What
being
about like
awesome.
Fire Emblem? Does that count?
Oh, yeah.
That's
But no.
Dang.
No, Three
That's-
Houses.
That's too.
Too big.
yeah,
too big of a
yeah,
school,
I
I
think it's
guess.
too big.
Yeah.
Fire
Too many
Emblem,
variables.
dude.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
for
Dragon
our,
Age Origins could be on there.
Oh. Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
Chrono
of course,
Trigger.
of course.
second place.
Oh,
place,
yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah.
there
That
we go.
that makes sense.
Yep.
That is correct.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Dragon Age 2 is at 48th place.
Okay, all right.
Only Dragon Age.
Wow.
Huh.
2.
That's interesting.
Polarizing one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Top 10.
Witcher 3 is solo. Never mind. You're Geralt.
I mean,
You're kind of like
Kind
with
of, but yeah.
Vesemir and
yeah, they don't.
it's more
I
of a
think
solo
maybe they were
Wait.
never like part of a controllable group.
Yeah.
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 Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, Baldur's Gate
Come on.
3.
Come on. Top 10. Easy.
Baldur's
That's like
Gate
number 4 or 5 or
3,
6 here.
18th.
18.
Oof, that's a little
Wow.
low, but okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Harsh. Playing hardball with
We
Baldur's
play
Gate
hardball
here.
with these weebs.
Okay, top 10.
Too Western, Isla.
Yeah.
4. 4 tied
Persona,
for 8th
yeah.
place.
Oh, Persona, dude. 5.
Okay,
Where's
I
Persona
forgot
5?
Persona 5 is 5th place.
Hell
Persona
yeah.
4 is
5.
22nd place.
Yeah.
Persona 3 is 36th place.
Awesome. Okay. I think we're,
All right.
we're fully
okay.
ready. We're
All
fully
right.
ready.
We hit the ones that if we didn't say, people would
Yeah.
scream at us.
We got the top 5. We got all the tops. Like,
I think you might have unveiled almost the top 10.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
tied for 8th place, four different games. Dragon Quest XI, Final Fantasy X, Mass Effect 3, and Super Mario RPG.
PG.
Oh,
Nice.
RPG.
Nice. Gino and Malo. Let's go. And Bowser.
And Bowser.
Yeah.
3 games tied for 5th place. Final Fantasy VI, good stuff. Final Fantasy 15
So crazy.
and
That is
Persona
wild.
5.
That made the top 10 is insane to me. Like,
Yeah, I'm blown away. And I love it. That's unhinged. But also like I don't even know. I don't know. I respect it. I love it.
It's a take.
It is a take. But this is a democracy.
yeah.
These
A
people
direct
voted.
democracy.
4th place, Kingdom Hearts 2. 3rd place, Mass Effect 2.
Hell yeah.
2nd place, Chrono Trigger. And 1st place, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Hitting both the recency bias and the nostalgia in one swoop.
And
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we conceptualizing just 7 in general?
Right?
well, you got Yuffie in this one.
Yeah,
But you don't have everyone in 7.
that's true.
That's right. 2 characters
Still a couple left.
that are there, but
Yeah.
not playable.
Yeah, they're still around.
We got some more here. 12th place, the Kong family from Donkey Kong 64,
Oh,
as well as Final Fantasy 9 and Ni no Kuni.
Nice. The familiars though,
Party.
like I mean it's you
Well-
and Drippy, like
Yeah, Drippy's pretty good, but
Yeah,
you
Drippy
also
rules.
have
oh, and 2 you have like the actual party,
well,
right?
the first one. Oh no, first one you have a party. You have
Oh yeah, it's like the 3
pirate old guy, the
The
girl,
old dude. Yeah,
and damn, I can't remember. I think the guy's name starts with an S. I forget his name. Yeah,
Forget.
you do have people who fight with you. Yeah, besides the familiars.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'll just hit some highlights from here for different people. Valkyria Chronicles at 15.
Nice.
Ah, yes, very nice.
Dude, like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
That one. The thing with Valkyria Chronicles is you do have certain characters you have to have. There's like a core group, but also like a tactics game, you can swap in and out like 30 plus different characters. It's like, yeah, so it's really like the core 5 or 6. I feel like, yeah.
This is where the rules feel a little fuzzy to me. God of War Ragnarok at
Yeah.
18th.
that's interesting.
Because, like, you don't really play as most of them.
No, you don't. That's a little murky there.
Yeah. GTA 5 Fever, 22nd place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well done. I'm not going to complain about it. Nice.
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is at 24th place.
Yeah, sick.
Sly 2
Nice.
at 24th
Nice.
place. Earthbound at 28th place. 13 Sentinels at 28th place. Knights of the Old Republic, 32nd place. Tied with Guardians of the Galaxy and Super Mario Brothers 2.
That is hilarious.
What? Super Mario Brothers 2?
So
Mario,
funny.
Luigi, Toad, and Princess.
Peach. That's
I
so
mean, I
funny.
guess.
Yeah.
Banjo-Tooie, I don't even understand that one.
Just the two of them?
They said it's supposed to be 3 or more controllable. I don't understand.
Maybe-
How's Banjo-Tooie get in there?
Someone comes, it's playable.
Let's see. Pikmin?
Wait, do they have names?
Nope.
Well, which one? 3, like
Just-
you have
just
multiple
Pikmin.
people.
Just Pikmin.
Like three, you do control multiple crewmates, but the Pikmin, you name your Pikmin? Are they like party members?
You sacrifice them to solve puzzles.
That's right. Yeah, they don't live very long in some people's playthroughs.
Xenoblade made it to 39.
Nice. It's
X-Men,
Ryan time.
X-Men Legends 2 made it to 41.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 4. Grandia.
Nice, dude. Grandia 2 is one of my all-timers, man. Fuck, I want to go
The
back
World
to that
Ends
game.
With You's in there.
Dude,
Ease 8 is in there.
Let's play Grandia 2 tonight.
And then the 2 that got 1 vote. Ark the Lad, Twilight of Spirits.
Nice.
And
Ark the Lad fans are the best.
Lisa the Painful.
Is
Totally
that like
don't know that one.
inspired PT?
Is that RPG Maker game?
Maybe.
I think it is. Where you play as like that bearded guy.
Lisa, it's your birthday.
But again, those are from our patrons in the official Discord. So if you would like to participate in future top 10s, become a $5 patron and get in on that action.
It is that one.
For December, starting Wednesday, December 4th, they will be taking nominations for the top 10 Easy Allies moments of 2024,
Oh.
which we'll probably go over in the first episode of January.
Nice.
Then, which will be a Discord-only thing, we will get Wednesday, December 18th. They will be asking for everyone's personal top 10 games of 2024,
Nice.
which will not be ranked, just personal lists.
Great.
All right.
Gotta love it.
Got a couple more headlines here.
Headlines.
One that's still TBD what's going to happen.
TBD.
Sony wants to purchase
Oh, shit.
From Software's parent company.
Oh, shit.
No.
Yeah. So earlier this week, Reuters reported that Sony is in talks to potentially buy Kadokawa, the parent company from Software, as well as the parent company of Spike Chunsoft, as well as the parent company of Acquire. So they're looking to acquire.
Whoa.
Kadokawa is also a huge publishing company about all kinds of things. They've been around since 1945. They publish books, they publish movies, they publish anime, they publish manga. And they did confirm after the initial reports that they did get an offer, but they have not decided whether or not to accept it.
Whoa.
Quote, the company has received an initial letter of intent to acquire the company's shares, but no decision has been made at this time. If there are any facts that should be announced in the future, we will make an announcement in a timely and appropriate manner.
Jeez.
So that's all we know.
That's all we know. I don't know. I get nervous when people buy people, you know, like too many companies being sold here, getting swallowed up. Like it makes me nervous always. I know, you know, Bloodborne is obviously, you know, a key part of this story, a key part of this. I wonder if this is why they haven't touched Bloodborne in so long. They're like waiting to like buy them out or something and do something with it like fully special.
I doubt it, but it was, you know, there's
Just had to throw
definitely
that out there.
some the fact that it's partly Sony,
Yeah,
partly
yeah.
From Software
Exactly.
working on it, and that Japan studio is no longer a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Could be part of it.
So
Damiani, the one thing I've heard a lot from people is that this is probably a bigger thing for the anime world than the games world. So I'm curious if you have any insight on that.
Sure. I just think straight up, this should not happen. I really hope it does not happen. I think this type of merger would just it would just not go well, honestly.
This is like the Dodgers getting Juan Soto.
I'm just seeing a lot of people and friends I know who work on the anime side of things saying please no. Like seeing how Sony has what they've done to Crunchyroll, what happened ultimately to Funimation, what they've done to write stuff. They have not run their anime side very well, and in the eyes of fans, and fans have suffered for lack of options, lack of quality, things have not gotten better under their watch, and that things were better when the studios wasn't perfect, but things were better when these studios were independent or not owned by Sony. So this needs to not happen, please, because then we're just going in the way wrong direction for this type of stuff with anime, and I don't from that part of it.
So this would not be a win for anime.
I do not think it would be. I do not, because then Sony now owns almost everything. For I don't understand.
Particularly in the West, I understand that there's more diversity in Japan itself.
Exactly, but I'm talking about for here especially, it's damn, this is
it's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
They've got all the distribution channels tied up.
Crazy.
Basically. Yeah.
I, for one, welcome our new corporate overlords, and I'd like to remind them that as a trusted internet personality, I can be helpful in rounding up others to toil in their underground sugar mines. Caves. Damn it.
Oh, well. Yeah. Not feeling good about it either. We've seen enough.
Yeah,
I don't know if
we've seen it. Yeah, I'm at my wit's end with acquisition.
Struggling. I'm not really in favor of
exactly
Souls
right
and I mean the game side. I mean,
From and Souls.
I don't think they would be exclusive. I mean, even Jason Schreier poked fun at it with that meme.
That was great.
Don't worry, even if it happens, they're still coming to Xbox. And there's a picture of the PlayStation 5 with this as an Xbox. It's But I that one I don't know, because you could argue for the game side, maybe some of those projects would get more funding or something. I don't know.
I could see Acquire benefiting from it in some ways, but I also know they've got those relationships with Square Enix, and that could get weird. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this is really big, but I feel like if anything in the last few years have shown us is that maybe these big acquisitions aren't really for consumers and for people aren't really the best in the end. And for a lot of people who work at these companies, it's not the best, because rest assured there'll probably be some form of layoff somewhere, and that truck just keeps on going.
Yeah.
We need these to happen so that we get corporate oligarchies to run our mega cities.
I'm kind of bummed we don't have mega cities yet. That's the one thing all these damn movies lied to me about.
We definitely do, but not in the sense of mega cities.
Yeah.
Mega City 1.
Oh, well, one weird fun fact that I heard that I would never have thought of. I don't know who ran the stats on this. Los Angeles and Mumbai are the only major cities in the world where a big cat cohabitates with humans. So in Mumbai there are leopards, and in LA there's mountain lions.
Huh.
And they've adapted.
Yeah.
Even the Santa Susana Mountains, over the north end of the valley.
Yeah.
The mountain lions up there behave different than the mountain lions that are closer to town. They would specifically have become more nocturnal to try to avoid us.
Jeez. I've been seeing so many coyotes lately, just in the neighborhoods. It's crazy.
A lot of coyotes.
Yeah.
I saw a crazy blurb about that too, saying that coyotes respond to culling by having more babies. So by taking them out, you are actually creating more coyotes.
Wow. Survival instinct.
While we're at it, did you know that LA is a polycentric city, which allows it, which makes it better suited to future growth?
Hell yeah. I love
Interesting.
LA. We love it.
Damiani, tell us what's happening with Final Fantasy 14 coming to phones.
So, yeah, just out of nowhere, this week, Square Enix announced that Final Fantasy 14 mobile. They technically had announced or said there was like a mobile version in the works. I think at sometime earlier this year, they announced or hinted that it was being in the works, but official unveiling. It's being basically financed and with Tencent and their Tencent studio Lightspeed Studio, which was just in the headlines recently because it just poached Itsuno from Capcom to head up a new studio. He's clearly working on something else. This game has footage and everything. It's running. Itsuno's not working on this. He's working in the press release from for that even said he's working on a AAA project, like for consoles and PCs, not for mobile. But because people all of a sudden got really excited, like when they saw Lightspeed, like, oh my God, Itsuno's going to be developing. Like, no.
Oh, that's funny.
Not happening. But like PUBG Mobile, Dead by Daylight Mobile, that's what this studio has done. And they showed off a trailer, so we get to see like the in-game graphics. In IGN got to get some more details in an interview with Naoki Yoshida. The Square Enix is basically in a supervisor role and providing assets and input, but Lightspeed Studio is the ones that are doing like the actual development. So one is not taking away resources from Final Fantasy 14. There's a lot of people who like doom posting that like, like now like 14's content lull is going to get even worse or something because they're splitting resources. That's not what's happening. Then the other side of the meme is like, oh, this is like Square Enix needs a way to fund like Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 3 after 16 and Rebirth didn't perform to expectation.
Get that mobile money.
That'll do it.
And it's launching in China first. This is a big tell. It's launching in China first. It is not, according to Naoki Yoshida, not having gacha monetization. It's going to be something else. They want people to be long-term invested in this. And it is going to start at a Realm Reborn narratively in terms of like what content you're going to get. But they also show off things that are in the trailer that did not exist in a Realm Reborn. So it's clear that maybe more modern, like you're not getting a Realm Reborn classic. Like that was another meme that people thought it's the monkey's paw. We got a Realm Reborn classic, but it's on effing mobile. But like that's not the case. It has flying mounts in the original zones in a Realm Reborn. Yes, you can fly in the original zones eventually, but not in the Realm Reborn. Like you had to like complete some stuff before you could do that. Two, there are like abilities that some of the jobs are showing off in the trailer that they don't get till way later in further expansion. So it's clear that the combat system is probably going to be a little bit more simplified and mobile friendly. They did mention a virtual joystick for moving as well in the interview with IGN. They showed off like the Titan fight. So like you're going to be fighting the primals. They said like gold saucer content's going to be there. It's like chocobo racing, mahjong, I think they said, triple triad's going to be available. They said crafting and gathering is going to be there. All the gather and crafters will be available from the start, it sounds like. And the original 9 base jobs will be available from the start. So everything you in Realm Reborn, but no Rogue Ninja yet. So, and they said the updates will come, but like not quite at the same speed that it took the base game, the 14 on console and PCs to update. So maybe you're not getting a patch every 4 months. Maybe it's faster than that. We don't know. And they said they'll be adjusting based on feedback. But again, it's coming to China first, and it will come to other foreign markets later. And yeah, that's it. They released some screenshots in a trailer and no other ideas about it, honestly. And people are just having fun with the
bring your original character into this.
So there's it sounds like it's just a clean slate. It's a separate entity, but we don't know if there's like any link. Like maybe you get some kind of bonus for having it. Yeah, we don't know about that. But progression wise, there shouldn't be Yeah, like we don't even know if like maybe like there'll be a character thing where you can copy your character into the game, like the mobile version of it. Like these are all things people are speculating about. And the one thing that I'm very curious about, like I do think this is probably going to make a lot of money, at least in China and like especially like in Southeast Asia and in that territory. It's probably going to make a lot of money over there because these types of games do very well on the mobile market. I still think it probably could do well in the outside that region, in the West especially. But like the thing that I'm seeing some genuine concern, because this tied back a little bit to our Game Awards discussion about 14 being an ongoing and community support. There's decent amount of this segment of the fan base that's a little bit disappointed with Final Fantasy 14 right now, even post Dawn Trail launch. And there's concern that once this comes out, this might be something that splits the base, because some people might see this as more appealing. It might be more fun to play. More people maybe want to go back and play the older content and feel it like, in a fresh way. And because it's free to play, it is a free to play game. Sure. They don't need an active sub to play this. So you could get casual level players
free
who
to play, and it's not going to be a gacha?
They said no gacha. They said there's no gacha in it. So how they're going to monetize is going to be stamina like stuff where you need like someone like a year or two ago made a meme image in the 14 subreddit of what mobile Final Fantasy 14 would look like. It had like the currencies and stuff, and the time limits and the draws and stuff. It assumed it would be gacha as well. And yeah, it's like, who knows what elements of that it's going to have. Obviously, it's going to have some kind of monetization as a part of it. But if it's at least free to play to like jump in and play, you could see how some people might be like, I'll do the content in 14 main, unsub for months, and then just play the mobile version and get my fix in there. So, and who knows? The meme right now is like, watch, there are different races in 14, like the Viera, the bunny people. Headgear doesn't work with the bunny people. Their ears won't come out of headgear correctly. The head piece just goes on, their ears vanish right now. So they've never ever fixed that, even though like other races like the cat boys and cat girls will have their ears come out of stuff correctly for whatever reason. People are memeing that like, oh, watch, this version will get that to work. And then like, oh, the people are going to run over there and play it because it's got the quality of life stuff we've been waiting for. So like things that they said couldn't be done in the PC console version, if it starts happening in this version, because it's Lightspeed developing it, and we don't fully know if they're beholden to the existing engine or if they're just recreating this in another engine that maybe frees them up. So that's what I think a lot of people are more interested in, is seeing what they're able to do with this version, because it's maybe in a different engine, and seeing the possibilities like, damn, I really wish this was in the regular game, and like I wish this was in this one, and see if that puts any pressure or has that kind of pull tug thing where it pulls some people away from the main game to play this one. And yeah, it's just like interesting. Like this thing's just going to make them a lot of money, honestly. So like, again, Square Enix is they're in a very fortunate position to have Final Fantasy 14 is one of their, flagship properties, because I mean, it's definitely carrying that company on their backs right now, quite honestly.
Nice. Also this week, get our bad news out of the way. 2 layoff stories. First, Heart Machine, developers of Hyperlight Drifter and Solar Ash, confirmed layoffs at the studio today. It's unclear how many people had to be let go, but they say
today.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't hear about this.
Dude, what the frick?
I know like a bunch of people that work there.
Yeah.
So we don't know how many that were let go, but they say that Hyperlight Breaker is still on track for next year. And then those who are laid off they will be honoring revenue sharing agreements and crediting their work in the game. As well as severance and healthcare and stuff. Also, Unknown 9 developer.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
Reflector Entertainment confirmed that they've laid off 18% of their staff after launch, saying that those people, quote, aren't assigned to roles that our active projects require. With the recent release of Unknown 9 Awakening and our 2 key production lines entering the early stages of development, we must make sure that our staff is laser focused on contributing to the projects that wholly benefit from their skill sets. So, yeah, that's just kind of a weird.
Yeah,
like they don't have another project.
Yeah, they finished the game. They shipped it
to where they can put people on it. Yep.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say their entire studio shut down because the game did like not well enough or something.
I mean, it's they're owned by Bandai Namco now, so it's
Yeah.
possible, but that's not where they're at yet. They did just put out like a new podcast and comic or something like that too for Unknown 9.
Yeah.
Roll this.
Roll it.
Mandragora has been dated. It is
What?
coming April 17th, 2025. I don't know if you remember this one, Huber. This is like basically like it's almost like a side-scrolling Souls-like.
Yeah, it looks sick.
Sick
as hell, dude.
But there's also like this crazy skill tree in there and like 6 different classes.
Sick.
It also kind of reminds me.
Wait, when does this come out?
April 17th.
Fuck, it's so far.
There's this crazy skill tree.
Yeah, this looks sick, dude.
It reminds me a little bit of Trine as well.
Yeah, trying for sure.
It's like
for
a
sure.
darker
Yeah.
Trine.
Totally.
The art style.
I just hope it feels good.
Right.
You know, not to catch strays here with Salt and Sanctuary, but like Salt and Sanctuary, I was so hyped on the game, and then the controls are just like, oh, this feels kind of weird.
Right.
You know?
Oh, so here's the crazy part. So if you pre-order Huber on PC, you can download a preview version today. You can start playing a preview build today if you pre-order. And then they're going to have another preview build
How much?
before launch. I want to say 30, but I have to look it up again.
Okay. I'm very intrigued, dude. I'm very, very in for this game. Very, very in.
40.
40.
Yep.
I'm 10 out of 10 in. I'll tell you that right now. I'm 10 out of 10 in for this one.
Nice.
So.
After the failure of Blue Protocol and Gundam Evolution, Bandai Namco is dissolving
What?
its online studio and absorbing their operations back into the main company. So Bandai Namco Online was started in 2009, focused on MMOs and a lot of license like Dragon Ball and
Yeah,
Gundam,
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. Play this. I just saw this last night, and I don't think I ever heard of it before, but it's out now. Inti Creates released this game
Out now.
called Divine Dynamo Flamefrit.
It was like sick. Shut up.
It's $7
What?
plus there's like a launch discount, like a 10% launch discount or something like that.
Shut up, dude. Cataclysmic Wave
Oh, wow.
Blood.
Yeah, it's like
This
a
looks sick.
yeah, it's
What
like
is it called?
It's Divine Dynamo Flamefrit.
It needs a bang bang. Design Dynamo Flame Fritz bang bang.
But yeah, it's kind of like action RPG, sort of like Zelda-ish elements, sort of like Mana-ish elements.
It looks cool.
But here's the crazy thing, Huber.
Yo,
The boss
mech!
battles, you're in a mech.
Yo.
First-person mech combat for bosses.
This game looks awesome.
Yeah.
$7.
$7. Inti Creates. Just,
What is it on?
it's on like everything. Like
Crazy.
Switch, PS5, Xbox, PC.
This looks sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the temperature on this over the weekend and see where people are at.
Right.
And then I might commit.
If anyone knows it exists.
Yeah.
But cool stuff.
Yeah. Divine Dynamo Flame Frit Bang Bang.
It looks like the way the logo is Flame Frit is the thing to focus on. It's much larger text.
Divine Dynamo feels like the universe or something. Like it's some expanded universe thing.
Roll this. Godzilla is coming to Monkey Ball
So cool.
What?
on November 26th.
Wow.
I don't even have anything to say
Oh my
about
God,
it.
the little apes are afraid of. Oh my God, Sophia!
Yeah, this is amazing.
The cutest little Godzilla
Yeah.
in a ball.
Okay, that's cool.
It is cool. It is cool.
I like that there's like little black and white little cinematic things going on here.
We
too.
love tie-ins.
I'm not sure how much of that's in the game itself, but you'll need the whole bunch. Yeah,
Look at
and
that free update, dude. That's a lot of content. There you go.
nice.
Dude, I love when Nintendo gives like free post-launch updates.
Nice. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Speaking of updates,
Yo.
we got a kind of unexpected update to the PlayStation Portal, which now
I
allows
thought you said the police station.
no PlayStation now
They'll
allows
own the police soon enough.
cloud streaming for select PS5 games. So you can now cloud stream or stream straight from the cloud to the portal. No PS5 in between.
Nice.
Oh.
That's huge.
Yeah. So it's currently beta, but Hubert,
Oh God.
it's only available for PlayStation Plus premium members.
users.
All right.
Oh my.
Or
I guess I'll just trade in my
pay up.
portal.
Right now, the beta includes 120 games supported, including Dave the Diver, Monster Hunter Rise, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Anybody want to buy a PlayStation portal?
Nope.
Nope.
On the Xbox side,
Here we go.
Game Pass Ultimate subscribers now have beta access to cloud stream games that they own. So before, you could only cloud stream if it was on Game Pass.
Got it.
Now there's another, they've got 50 games where if you
okay.
own the game,
Great.
you can now stream it from the cloud. And they're talking about the logistical sort of nightmare of this. Like
Dude, I love that.
trying to make every game available is kind of impossible because
Yeah.
it's sort of like having a PlayStation with like 5,000 games sitting
Yeah.
in your office. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you can't have them all loaded up at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you give people access to their library? How do you give all these Xbox games, make them available?
Yeah.
Because with Game Pass, you got a couple hundred games. Cool.
Yeah.
But going beyond that is a little crazy. So
Yeah.
right now they're starting with 50.
50.
So those can currently be streamed to PCs, phones, Samsung TV,
Anything
all that
that's
stuff.
an Xbox.
No, 50 games.
No, but it's going to stream to anything that's an Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as we know, everything is an My
Everything's an
shoes are Xboxes. Did you know that?
We're streaming everywhere.
They're hoping to roll out cloud streaming to an Xbox. That's the funny thing right now. You can't cloud stream to an Xbox. So if you're playing on an Xbox, that game has to be on your hard drive. But they're
Got
going to
it.
roll that out next year. They're also going to integrate cloud streaming into the PC app. Right now, I think it's just through like a separate website or something like that.
Laying the groundwork for the future, man.
Yeah.
These are good moves. Xbox, these are good moves.
The 50 games right now include Balatro and Dragon Quest III HD 2D. So that's all you need, baby.
Wow, that's all
it.
you need.
That's all you need to cloud stream
Yeah.
those two games.
That'll get you through the rest of the year easy. Just those.
And finally, Control 2 will be an action RPG.
What does that mean?
More customization is the way
Yeah, I think
see
it'll
it.
be like just you have a skill tree.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
All right, it is time for love and respect. Let's get through this.
Love and respect.
From Rahul Nisal.
Yo.
Hey, allies, this might be an unpopular opinion, but in recent years, I have liked the Game Awards medley, the musical arrangement, less and less.
It's gotten worse and worse.
Yeah.
In 2017 to 2022, the themes felt like a very unique way to show the music and vibe of each game nominated. Some nominees, like Control, even had vocal performances. However, since 2022, I feel like they essentially blended the songs with the Game Awards theme so strongly that you can barely hear the game soundtracks. If you go back and watch last year's medley, all of the games nominated, including Alan Wake and Mario Wonder, have the same tempo and mood. I didn't feel like the amazing horror vibes of Alan Wake came through at all.
Great call.
For example, since the background theme was so upbeat and fast-paced. What do you think of this? Do you prefer when the medley feels like an extended song, or do you prefer back when it felt like playing 6 different soundtracks to present 6 nominees?
6 different soundtracks for 6 different
Yeah.
nominees for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Making a medley is very hard. And so I could see why they went the direction they went the last couple of years. But yeah, I definitely have preferred when it was, and like they always flowed into each other in interesting ways. But yeah, I think it pays more homage to each game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
To like
I've,
separate them.
I've definitely been like struggling. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I was like, was that in there? Did they play anything from
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so we're right on the same page with you. And then, of course, just like, the tone of some of those scores, like, is very dependent on.
God of War.
Yeah, yeah. It depends. It's very dependent on instrumentation, right? It's
Yeah.
like there are people that have done like live acoustic versions of Celeste, right? And there's some good approaches to that, but it's just really doesn't fully capture like the color of that game, right? And yeah, same thing when you get with vocals and with like weird little instruments and like what would you do with like a Tomb Raider? Where it's like a lot of percussion and things jingling around and stuff like that. There is a main theme, of course, but it's tricky.
It's tough.
Tricky. So yeah, we'll see. But the other thing, I was just thinking about this. So they announced the nominees on Monday. So they got between Monday and the Game Awards.
That's something, a very good point, where it's like,
Wow.
they've got less than a month to
Jeez.
write, rehearse, and play this thing. Like, that's why it always feels a little thrown together, because it literally is.
Yeah.
Wow.
From Chris Irely. Happy holidays, allies.
Yo.
As we know, North America, Europe, and Japan are considered the big three game developers for over 30 years now, where most of our big AAA game franchises have come from. In the last 5 years or so, it seems like South Korea and China are really starting to make a name for themselves.
Making moves.
So recent
for
releases
Sure.
such as Black Myth Wukong, Liza P,
10 out of 10.
and Stellar Blade. And not just being known for MMO-style games like Guild Wars, Genshin Impact, Black Desert, and the like. Also, Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on that. That's a single-player game. Not another MMOs.
Is that out?
Very, very different. No, it's not out, but
Okay.
Hubert saw it at Gamescom.
Yeah,
and,
it was crazy.
And the trailer shows all kinds of craziness. My question, what other cultural areas from around the world are you seeing growth from in terms of game developers and making a name for themselves? Also, where are areas from around the globe you would like to see more games come from due to just what their culture and ideas could bring to the table?
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Well, that's true.
Games from everybody.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we've seen more from Brazil.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah,
Brazil
yeah.
is-
There's that's happening. Yep,
Yeah.
Brazil and Chile. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see African perspectives in games. We've gotten a few, but I would
Yeah.
love to see more.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I was really excited about
Consider Zao,
Zao.
yeah.
Bringing in that mythology.
Yeah.
Stuff that I've kind of been seeing and noticing is India.
Yeah.
Shuhei
Oh yeah.
turned me on to that a couple of years ago. He was talking about like visiting developers in India, and then he
Yeah.
started the India Hero Project. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know that I've played a couple of things from developers in India, but I've played more like things that are like people from South Asian descent who are in like Canada or the U.S. And places like that. Like Thirsty Suitors and Venba were really, really cool.
Thousand Times Resist is kind of like that. I believe they're from Canada, but they're leaning into their heritage and stuff from other countries, which I think is really cool.
And then I want to say that Bo is Singapore, and Nine Souls Taiwan.
I think
is that
it's
right?
Taiwanese. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's been a little bit longer in the making, but Poland has absolutely been on the rise, with, Indica.
Yeah.
And Frostpunk. And you've got a bunch of other like little splinter studios. Techland is working on some big crazy stuff, so yeah.
Global.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. Let's play a game! From RF Switch, Gaming Turkey Day Feast 2024. Once again, it is Thanksgiving in the US and we all have to plan for dinner. However, instead of listening to another drunken political rant from Uncle Eddie or going to a Friendsgiving where they got a Costco tofurkey again, we should once again enlist some video game characters to join in our Turkey Day. Join in our Turkey Day feast. I'm going to list a set of 3 characters who we are, and you have to decide who we are inviting and what dish they are bringing.
Chill.
All right. So we'll have a category and then 3 options to pick
Got
from.
it.
So the carver of the turkey.
Oh.
Who's going to cut this thing?
Okay.
Is it Dante from Devil May Cry,
Ooh.
Kenshi from Mortal Kombat 1, or Goro Majima?
Majima. Go Majima, dude. Just because I want to have him at our Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dante would slice it up the best.
No,
It'd be the most
dude.
stylish.
Rebellion's too big, man. At least Majima
That'd
has like
be
a
amazing to
knife.
see. No, but the thing is, you might give them
Right, yeah,
kitchenware, so
yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna do it like that. Yeah.
True, but Majima is a professional with a small blade. I will say that.
True. Before I knew we were getting options, I thought Jack Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah.
What do you think, Isla?
Yeah, Majima, I think.
Majima.
Sorry, Dante. Still love you.
All right.
Smoking sexy
Who
style on that turkey.
who are we going to have bring the casserole? Luigi?
That seems like Luigi.
Mumbo Jumbo from Banjo-Kazooie? Or Eddie from Silent Hill 2?
Oh my god.
God, not Eddie.
Not
no.
Eddie, dude.
No.
Keep him away.
It's Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi. dude.
What's Mumbo? Is it one Mumbo?
Yeah.
Okay.
The gays know how to make a casserole.
Luigi knows what's up.
Yeah, I think Luigi knows how to make a good food.
Yeah.
For sides, who's going to bring some sides?
This is
Just
critical.
General sides.
Very critical here.
Cooking Mama,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Ronnie the Witch from Elden Ring, or just a villager from Animal Crossing. Random player character.
Dude, you can't compete with Cooking Mama. That's OP,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's OP.
Ronnie would just bring something like spectral and inedible.
Yeah. I could see her having good seasoning.
Yeah.
Some kind of like
Yeah.
magical powders throwing them on.
Yep.
You're like, why does this taste like corpse?
The sports ball watcher. Who's got that remote? Who's on the couch?
Me. Am I an option? I'm running the show on Thanksgiving for sports. That's my job.
Would it be Titus? Charging Chuck from Super Mario World?
Sick.
Or Chris Redfield?
Ooh.
Oh, this is interesting. Because, like,
Interesting.
Titus would put on Blazeball or whatever the fuck it's called.
Blitzball, yeah.
Blitzball,
yeah.
yeah.
Charging
So-
Chuck, I feel like
goers.
would get out of control if his football team was down or
Exactly.
something. You know?
Yeah, the whole,
Get a little
whole
messy.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
table ends up on the
Knocking
floor.
over the whole dinner, yeah.
Chris is probably pretty chill about like what's on and stuff. You know?
I could see him, like, shooting the TV if it didn't go, or just being like, no!
like punching it.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Yeah.
She just punches a hole through the TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like a normal uncle.
So Titus?
I'd
do you
watch
say?
Blitzball. I would watch the hell out of some Blitzball. dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, Titus. Yeah, for sure. And Titus is there, man. That's jolly.
Yeah. Good laugh.
Well, even though we're not going to be listening to that uncle, there will be a troublesome ranter.
Oh, jeez.
So who do we want to have ranting here?
Okay.
Flowery from Undertale? Albert Wesker? Or Professor Hojo from Final Fantasy VII Remake? Who do we want to listen
Hojo?
rant?
Dude. Hojo.
Oh, God.
Wow, you didn't go with Wesker?
I'm going with Hojo. I'm obsessed with Hojo and like,
Hojo monologues.
dude,
Yeah.
the
that would
monologue
be-
about creating the perfect turkey is
Yeah, he's
must
gonna like
see.
look at all the food
Yeah,
and be like,
it would be
"What could I?
must see.
What
Yeah.
could I have created with this?"
Yeah, Wesker's in his whole other world, like, you know, his
Yeah.
superiority. Like, Hojo wants to, like, make the food, like, better.
I'm
his own
shocked by this,
psychotic
but
way.
yes, I agree.
Who's bringing dessert? Waddle Dee from Kirby, Isabelle from Animal Crossing,
Ooh, very sweet.
or Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon.
Very sweet, too.
I feel like Isabel would bring something that she made herself, and it's got a lot of love in it, but it doesn't taste great.
Yeah.
It's like a carrot cake that's like too dry, you know? It's like good, but
She
it
tried.
kind of sucks, but you love her anyway. And it makes you love her more,
Yeah.
kind of.
I feel like Ichiban would just buy something and bring
Yeah,
it
yeah.
for sure.
And he would drop it on the way.
But he'd be really jolly about it, and he
Yeah.
would definitely make our Thanksgiving dinner better.
I actually
Yeah.
think a Waddle Dee would be really dedicated to their craft.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
they're there to like do their best. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It can be a Waddle Dee here.
Yeah.
What do you say, Blood?
I think Waddle Dee.
Yeah?
I think Blood's leaning Waddle Dee, yeah.
Okay.
Waddle Dee doesn't have a mouth.
More
That's
for
good.
us.
More for us.
They're not going to eat it and try. Yeah, but I mean, then they don't try it, so I don't know if it's good. But, we'll see.
All right.
Who's passing out? Snorlax,
Snorlax.
Already passed out.
Yeah.
Chrono,
He didn't show up because he was passed out.
or Vincent Valentine? Who do you want passed out on the
Snorlax.
couch?
Snorlax for sure. Gotta have Snorlax.
So then all the kids can just,
yeah.
play with Snorlax.
I want to snuggle up on Snorlax.
Just
like,
lay on top of him.
Yeah.
food coma on Snorlax.
Yep, for sure. Dude, Snorlax is the best. Does Snorlax have an evolution or no?
Does he?
I don't think
I
so.
don't remember.
But there's like the
No
Giga,
idea.
like fake hologram Snorlax, right? In that one.
Snorlax evolves from Munchlax.
Munchlax. That's right.
Yeah,
I
it
guess
evolves
there's a Gigantamax.
The gigantic one I'm thinking of, yeah.
All right. Someone is going to break something. It's a given.
Sonic.
We know it's going to happen.
It's gonna be frickin' Sonic.
Who do we want to invite knowing that they will probably break something? That they will break something? Would it be Minsk from Baldur's Gate?
That would be cute.
Kiryu Kazuma? Or the Ashen One from Dark Souls 3?
Jesus. I gotta go Minsk for this one because he comes with Boo or whatever, the little cute little animal.
If
And
Kazuma
he's a sweetie pie.
if Kazuma breaks something, it's intentional and it means there's a brawl.
Yeah.
So
Minsk would just like back up into
I mean,
a lamp.
Majima's there. We invited Majima.
I know.
just like rolling everything in Souls games. So I mean, they're gonna be tempted, right?
Just rolling through the dining room.
rolling through the just breaking everything in the way.
You got to pick Damiani?
Whatever you guys pick, yeah.
Mint, Skyla?
I think you would pick Minsk if you had played that game. Like this is
Nice.
this is from Magic the Gathering, but like bald guy with Boo who's a little like I don't know gerbil or whatever.
Looks like a hamster. Yeah.
Hamster, yeah. He's a sweetie pie. He's like you would love him, Huber.
Hell
He's
yeah.
like a super loyal,
Love that.
kind of like enforcer type who's like not the brightest, but he like
amazing.
he loves with his whole heart. You know?
10 out of 10. It's a party member?
Yeah, you can get him in your party.
Nice.
Spoilers.
All right. Who's cleaning up after all this?
Ooh, Luigi.
Well,
Make Luigi do it.
Just make
Luigi brought the casserole.
He's
We got to make
everyone's
somebody
dumping
new.
back.
Where's Kirby?
So,
Oh, Kirby's great.
I was thinking of
Kirby is the
Luigi could have
first
the
one.
vacuum.
Oh,
Just
Kirby's
like-
an option.
Well, then you're done.
Rikimaru from Tenchu, or a space station janitor from Viscera Cleanup Detail, which I don't know.
Oh, gross.
Know that.
Kirby
I'd
was
say
an option.
Kirby. Yeah, Kirby for
Yeah.
sure, right?
Yeah.
Just
Kirby
suck
would
it all up.
Kirby would
Ultimate
love it.
garbage.
I mean, you would have
disposal.
leftovers, but you would get it cleaned up.
Yeah.
He might eat a few of the guests too.
Right.
Is Kirby a boy? What's the deal? Is
I
Kirby a they,
believe.
them?
I believe so. I believe so.
Huh. Maybe genderless.
Maybe genderless, but I believe Kirby is.
Kirby is one of one.
The English manual for Kirby's Dream Land refers to Kirby as a little boy,
Little boy.
whereas the Japanese
is.
version uses wakamono, which translates to a gender-neutral youngster or young
Look at that.
person.
Interesting.
Wow.
Huh.
So our party includes Goro Majima, Luigi, Cooking Mama, Tidus, Professor Hojo, Waddle Dee, Snorlax, Minsk, and Kirby.
Yo, this would be a pretty chill party.
Yeah.
Can we enter this into the best party?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Good.
It is time for bets. This week's bet 9 Souls.
9 Souls.
It's out on consoles next Tuesday. Check out Huber's stream.
Good freaking game.
Probably talk about that next Tuesday as well, since
Sick.
we're short on time between episodes. On Tuesday, right before the podcast, I'm going to check the PlayStation Store page, the web page, where the store you can buy things that will end up on your PlayStation. I want to know how many user ratings, those stars that people give the game, how many user ratings, not the score itself, how many ratings 9 Souls will have.
None of us knew you could do this.
Which makes it all the better. Damiani, Pompous Cocker Spaniel, how many ratings?
300.
300. For reference, Towers of Agaspa, which came out this week, like a day and a half after it came out, it had 1,200 ratings.
And for further reference, what was it? Call of Duty had like 400,000
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, Damiani.
451,000.
Yeah, so big variety here.
I'm fucked.
But it's been a lot longer for Call of Duty. That was like
No,
day
fully.
of.
But I'm just saying, like, people be rating, you know?
Yep. Huber, Stealthy Centipede.
I went really, really low. 145.
145. I love Wet Hummingbird.
3,000.
3,000. Don, Fashionable Manatee.
1.8K.
1.8.
1,800.
Gabby, Optimistic Rat.
900. Daniel.
900. So I'm glad nobody went with what I went. 999.
Oh,
versus 9
blood,
Souls.
dude. That's cheating.
Sick. That's OP.
Last week's bet. Toads of the Bayou came out on November 19th. That is a card-based tactical roguelike starring a band of toads
Sick.
fighting against evil. In the launch trailer, I wanted to know how many cards that we would see. Playable cards, not just icons that look like cards, not cards on the side of a building, the actual playable cards that there would be in the trailer. Roll the trailer. Damiani bet that there would be 50 cards. Huber bet 21 cards.
Blackjack, baby.
Don bet 25 cards. Gabby bet 40 cards. And I bet 17 cards.
Son of a bitch.
All I said was how many I bet.
Always
That's all I
underscoring
said.
me.
Oh my god.
Always underscoring me, blood.
The answer in this launch trailer is 38 cards. Gabby was just off by 2.
Get it.
We have a 3-way tie for the top score, so I
Hell
guess
yeah.
we'll just do our sounds at the same time.
I love it.
So that brings our scores to 11 for the Stealthy Centipede, Wet Hummingbird, and Effervescent Hippopotamus. Bloop, bloop,
Yay.
bloop, 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 bloop. And 8 for the Optimistic Rat.
You gotta do your noise. No, it's just a gross noise.
Splinter in the Turtles game, Gabby, says, no building in New York can keep a rat out. I thought it was really funny.
Nice. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Thank you to everyone who is watching us today and listening on podcast services. We moved all of our podcast hosting over to Spotify. So if you're over there, thank you for that. Also, I put video on Spotify.
Video?
yeah.
Cassette tape?
Video cassette tapes.
Not
now
that.
on Spotify.
But there's a video version on Spotify now, as well as YouTube. So that's a fun thing that we're doing. But all of this stuff happens, all of it's possible because of people like you who are tuning in. So if you're listening to 3 hours and 45 minutes of this this week, please consider dropping in $5 a month to keep everything rolling. At $5, you get the Easy Allies podcast 2 days early. You get it ad-free, and you get 2 bonus Love and Respect questions. You get to submit to Love and Respect, which I'm going to be posting the thing for next week, like right away, because we're going to be shooting early. And you get in our official Discord for those top 10s. Then we've got the contributor tier for the showcase and stream team at $10. And we've got our producers and all of that fun stuff. Our platinum producers get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. And this month's shout outs go to Javawabs and Elthanis. Shout out.
Also, we're all on Blue Sky now.
Blue ski.
This week we had Hall of Greats. First time in like 8 months. But go check that out. Fun times there. And then mild spoilers because they asked for it and Don delivered. Don put up his Hall of Greats entry for Mega Race as a Don't Skip. So you can watch that as well.
Don't skip.
Last week, before the nominations happened, we made sure to get it up quickly.
Yeah.
Huber Hype came back as well.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Goaty watch. Just some big games that I didn't think would get the Game of the Year nod. Not like underground games, not like underrated games, just some of the big ones that I thought would be left off of the...
Yeah, might get forgotten a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, Isla and Gabby got that merch store back.
Mostly Gabby, but
Mostly
yeah.
Gabby.
We're back. We're back in control of our own fate, merch-wise. People be buying, yeah.
Sweet.
There's a discount. There's a sale right now, 15%, right?
Sale hype.
There's a sale right now. And we have some never before seen merch on there. Some cool stickers.
Exclusives.
Well, they're all exclusive because we run the shop. But unless someone else is scalping our shit, it's exclusive. So you can get it in our link tree. That's the easiest way to do it on our socials. But the direct link is easyallies.myspreadshop.com, which is unwieldy, but yeah.
I think my spread shop is just kind of hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. But
My
yes.
spread shop. You don't need to say it. Yeah, you don't need to say it out loud. Just type it.
We do. We've actually secretly, quote unquote, secretly had that link in the description for like 2 months. And all the YouTube videos, so you can find it in the description too.
Which shows you how often people look in the description. But yeah, buy stuff, please.
Do it.
And as I mentioned just a couple of times already, but to be perfectly clear, because next week is Thanksgiving, Group Stream is going to be Monday night. Community Showcase will be after that. And then Tuesday is when we're going to be doing this podcast, the live recording. So if you want to watch on Twitch, it's going to be happening Tuesday. And then...
That's this Monday? This stream?
This Monday, Tuesday, yeah.
Is that Mario Party?
No. That's Stream Team.
Damn it.
Mario Party will be December 3rd.
Got it.
Yep. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that. And then patrons will still get it as soon as it's done, but won't be till Sunday before the public episode. So, Gabby, you get to shout out anything or anyone that's on your mind this week. You get the final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
You want to hold this?
Yeah. Thing is, sorry. First thing is, I'm shouting out someone or something.
Yep.
Shout out to Ukraine, because we're talking about Stalker this week.
Hell yeah.
So, I want to shout out to Ukrainians everywhere. And then what's the next one?
Final word. So something that you disagreed with and you want to get the final word on, or something you want to reiterate, or just something that popped in your head.
Game of the Year. I think it's fine that Game of the Year is in December because of holiday sales and stuff. Like, that's dumb, but I also understand it. And a year is a fake amount of time. You know, like, a year could be November 10th to November to November 9th, you know?
It is.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then my sign off?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Get the Dream Egg from the Moogle Chocobo Carnival to unlock the Master Assassin's robes for Noctis.
Waddle Dee doesn't have a mouth.
More for us.
More for us.